Okay, here we are again. We will wait out the time. We got about 4 minutes. And yeah, then we'll get moving. Got a little bit of a ways to go first before we get to... Well, actually, we don't have that much of a ways to go. We've got a couple of quests I want to go do before we finish out a Requiem for Heroes, and then got a little bit of more stuff to do after that. Still got soul crystals to fix. Before we go ahead and head into Shadowbringers proper, but we might get there today. We might actually get into the first quest or two of Shadowbringers today by the end of the stream. And then we'll start on the whole main quest properly starting next week. I forgot to send Cole a stream reminder earlier, so I just sent him something. Just before I turned on the stream, and he just sent me back a thing saying he's scuttling off to get ready. Like little insects. No swing shot here, though. I'm not technologically superior like I am in Ratchet and Clank. So... Okay, take a drink and then we'll get going. Alright, here we go. I wonder if I should put an MSQ tag on Twitch for this, so that people know the days that I'm actually moving on with content and the days when I'm doing old stuff. Yeah, I'll think about it. So, it's been a little bit since the last stream was a couple of days ago, but it's been a little bit since the last time we met because not a time skip, but a few days have gone by. I found out that Tadaru is actually back at the Rising Stone, so we'll be meeting up with her when we return there. I checked in with her about a bit of a project that we could work on jointly together for when I get my soul crystals all back up and running. And I tried to check in both with the Maelstrom and with Ishgard to see if anybody had any leads on how I can fix them. Didn't get anything too in-depth, but I did find out that there might be a lead from, of all people, the Thaumaturges Guild. So we're going to go investigate the lead that they gave me a little bit later today, but first I should probably go let Tadaru know I'm okay and see if she finished the project so I can pick them up. How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Shadowbringers, the stream edition. Last time, well, after taking ourselves through rehab, we took care of the entirety of the Scholastica quest line. We did the Fisher quest from level 60 to 70, and that gave me what I needed to know, which was, am I relatively back in good order? I can tell you what, though, I am not going to be very warm order after I leave this fireplace if I keep these clothes on, so I guess we'll switch back to scholar stuff. I mean, really, I guess I could just blow myself up, and that would probably work pretty well. Like, you know, go open the door, let the draft in, and then just casually do one of these. There. Now I'm warm. Alright, well, we'll wander around like this for about 2 seconds until I get too cold again, and then we'll go from there. Oh, so before we go today, like I said, a couple quests I want to do. The first one is going to be right here in Ishgard. Second one is going to be the rank 3 quest for the Vanu Vanu. But before we go do that, you may remember that the reconstruction of Ishgard was happening during our Stormblood playthrough, and that kind of spread them thin a little bit throughout the war effort. But now, well, from what I understand, they're basically done. So let's go see the fruits of not our labor, their labor, shall we? I mean, kind of our labor. I did off-screen, out of character, contribute a little bit, but not much, so. Yeah, well, I've been around and about there, Gondolin, so. What were you waiting for? Yes, I actually am aware of that. And it turns out their efforts were not in vain, because they're finally finished with the reconstruction project. Oh, wow, really? Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, so not only did they create a housing district for the less fortunate, which was the entire point of the reconstruction project, they also created a separate district called Imperium, where they can house, potentially, the adventurers that helped them build the whole section for the less fortunate, so. Alright, I'll go check it out. Sounds like fun. I can't believe they managed to find that much space to build on, but... well, I guess Ishgard is a pretty big place, so... let's go have a look. Alright, I'm too cold again. Let me blow myself up again. There. I had to weigh my options there, whether or not I should just blow myself up again to warm up, or if I should just switch to Scholar. I might end up switching to Scholar, but we won't be in Ishgard itself for too long today. So. Well, Tomlin, I heard that you guys had a fancy project going in there, so sure, let's head off to Imperium. Now that it is finished, let's take a look at what it looks like. Yeah, that's about what I expected, to be honest. Nice hot spring, though. That'll be helpful. Naturally, they had a Helone statue as one of the main attractions. That makes sense. Hey there. Yeah, that's what I heard. Well, that's awesome. I appreciate the effort that you all went through. Well, of course. I mean, I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be like, no, I need it for free. I helped you end a 1,000-year-long war. No, you guys need the money. It's understandable. All right, then. Cool. Thanks. Let's see. Oh, that's just the end of it. Okay. Well, sure. Let's go take a look around Imperium while we're here. There isn't too terribly much to see. We can go check out the apartment. It's a very large apartment complex, mind you. Maybe we'll go check out the hot springs real quick, and then after that, we'll head back. I don't actually know how the housing system, like in terms of purchasing houses themselves, works anymore in this game. I am blissfully unaware because I no longer own an actual plot of land. I just swapped over to an apartment. It was far easier. I could actually drop my subscription when I wanted to, rather than having to hold on to it, and then if I lost it for 35 days, they'd scrap my house. So I said, no, you know what? I'll just stick with an apartment. It's fine. Much easier. So this is the place, huh? Yeah, it's quite an impressive apartment complex they've got going on here. What was the name of this place then? I can read it. Ingleside in Ishgardian or in Eorzean, but I guess I could have gotten Ingleside out of that if I, looked at it for long enough. Probably wouldn't have gotten Side, though. I probably would have gotten, like, Inglehide or Engelhide, something like that. I think the hot springs are over there, and then there's actually an exit out in that direction as well. So, yeah, it's a nice little spot that they got here. Another entire housing district for people to rest their heads at. Imperium Northeast is where the springs are, so I guess we'll just teleport over there. And then, yeah, the Great Worm's Gate is right there, so then we can just go up there and we can head out. Let's see, probably right in here, isn't it? Yep, sure is. Snow Steep Springs. Not bad. What's on the bar today? It's fine. I'm not going to be the one drinking it, to be honest. I've got places to be. I just figured I'd check this place out. Nice. I don't know if those NPCs over there are NPCs or actual players just hanging out here, but let's give them some space. I'm just here to check around. I guess there's a... Is that a large? Must be, considering how big the house is on it. So I guess you could have one directly over top of the hot springs if you really wanted to, but... I think you have to, like, win a lottery or something now in order to build a house, which is a lot... It seems like a lot of effort for to me personally. I don't think it's all that worthwhile. Again, I'll just... As a casual player, like, it was nice having the house there, but nowadays I'd just as soon stick with my apartment. I like the challenge of, only having 100 items to work with a little more, because it forces you to kind of think with the space a little bit, but, like, if you also want to make the place look bigger than it actually is, you have to kind of build up or build around and make it look like there's a hallway and all that other stuff that I did, so it's interesting, I think, building for housing stuff, but an entire house, no thanks. So, and here is the section for the less fortunate, and it looks like they were just finishing up some sort of celebration not too long ago, so we'll just wander our way through here. They must be celebrating the fact that they finished up both districts, so that's cool. Oop, hang on. I hope they're not gonna get like, what the hell was that explosion? It's like, don't worry guys, there's no more heretics here to blow up your fancy new district. They don't have to worry about that anymore. So it's just me staying warm. I don't have any, like, beef stew or anything, do I? No, I don't. Although I do have this rhodonite now. So that is actually the... so what I did before I left Tamami Zoo is I went back to Hell's Lid, and I had a chat with Bayako about Rory's auspice crystal thingy-majigger, and we figured out a way to store the auspice version in a portable crystal. Crystal, quote-unquote. It's more of a gem, to be honest. He said this represented her fiery spirit in battle. Makes sense to me. But yeah, we figured out a way to store her there, so that way, if I wanted to ask for her help with something while she's still out of commission here in Ishgard, I could do that on demand. Now, Bayako did warn me that the summoning from that crystal will fade in power based on distance from him, because he's the one directly controlling the power of the summon. So probably if I had to summon her out here, she probably wouldn't be as strong as she is over there, but I don't know. We'll figure it out. It was nice. You guys did a really good job on it. No, it's all good. I mean, if I didn't already have a place to call home, I'd be pretty interested. I enjoy the stone structures and everything. It's cold, but I'd get used to it. Well, if I find anybody who's interested, I will let them know. I've got a few, few people out there that can filter that information out for you, But now we can access Imperium if we want to go through the Ethernet, so that's cool. Okay, so I figured I'd just do that as a sort of capstone to the reconstruction, which we did mention, I think, in passing back in Stormblood, and if we didn't, well, it was happening while it was all going on, so I figured, yeah, we'd just let you know. Yeah, Ishgard is pretty much back on the map. They got all their stuff done that they wanted to do. Kids at the Scholasticate evidently didn't know anything about it, but that's okay. They had their heads buried in books the whole time, so no real shock. Oh good, the sun's going to be coming up shortly. Because then it will be slightly less cool here, because I'm going to need it since I was just in Ishgard, and it's freezing! Anyway, Linu, ready for rank 3. Fortunate news? What kind of fortunate news? Well, good. Sounds like you're making some friends. Well, what about the shame? Are you talking about your brother, or... Oh, Sundrop Dance, yeah, well... Oh, okay. Oh, that's interesting. Ginu Vanu. Oh, okay. That's true, I don't fear their violent youths. Gotta go to Vundu Akbendu. Okay, sounds like a plan, Linu. Let's see what we can do. Vundu Akbendu, is that the one that's all the way across the map? Yeah, I thought so. It's over by Vorsin Saran. Alright, well, then I guess we'll be making a quick trip that way, won't we? Alright, Parvati, you're up. I just swapped off to Mount Roulette for Blue Mage because I've got my mounts evenly distributed across the rest of the classes, so... We'll just fly right underneath Ukvundu's noses for now. They won't even know I'm here because I'm all the way down here. I might have to get a little more altitude on my way there, but that's okay. Not a big deal. Maybe not, because it looks like we're almost there. She's probably waiting like right down near where the ladder is here. Let's find out. Close enough. Close enough to know what they're up to, not close enough for them to attack on sight. Linu, ready? Yeah, that makes sense. Sanua Bones? Oh, okay. Sounds like a plan. Excuse me. I will do that because, frankly, the people of Vundu Akbendu don't even... Oh, I don't even need this. They don't even remotely want to bother with me. Like, do you see my level? Probably not. Bleached bone. Oh, there's one. Here comes the sun. Do-do-do-do. I wonder if I should just, like... I feel like I could just go up there with a mount, but it's almost funnier to just, like, walk right up on them because I'm so much higher of a level than they are that they're just like, oh, fuck. I can't mess with that guy. He beat my ass. It's like when I did those quests for the Sylphs and the Amalja back in Heaven's Ward, I was like a level 66 or something ridiculous like that, so they were just like... None of the mobs were bothering me, so I could just walk through no matter what. It was, I don't know, kind of silly, I guess. It worked pretty well, though. It allowed me to do the quest without needing, like, somebody else to, like, wander around behind me killing all the mobs while I was, you know, escorting the items or whatever that they wanted you to do. I think the Sylph quest had you doing that. I don't think the Amalja quest did as much, but... Sylph quest definitely had you, like, walking through defenseless for a little while. So. I will place this bone directly in their hearth. It probably would turn into powder if I did, though. So maybe I'll place it next to the hearth. How about that? Going back to Linu? Alright then. Now I will fly. It's just easier. Come on, Parvati. We put down the bones, so now let's head back. I imagine by the time these quests actually came out, not a whole lot of the stuff in there was a big threat anyway, though. Like, thinking about it, because these quests came out after 3.0, so like if you were keeping up with the quest line, you were still like 9 levels over those guys, so even if they did attack you, they probably weren't a big threat. Good to go now, Cole? Alright, I'll go call you. Hold on. Let me go back on Discord and call you. Here we go. Ayo, Mobile Suit Elden Ring?
Ayo.
What's up?
Game Awards actually had some pretty good announcements yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't watch them, but that was one. It popped up in my recommended feed, so I was like, oh, Cole would be interested in that.
How long until you need me?
So I am finishing the rank 3 quest for the Vanu Vanu, and then I'm gonna go turn in a Requiem for Heroes, so then it'll be the credits, and then after that I'll be going to Idleshire. So.
Okay.
You got in here...
Asking for a reference to how long I have to finish the thing.
Okay. Yeah, you got in here mostly just in time. You can finish the thing while I'm in the credits, though, because the credits will probably take, like... I looked on a video, and the credits are, like, 33 minutes long. I'm probably not going to watch... No! I'm probably not going to watch the whole thing, because I feel like I'd be mostly just rehashing what I've already said about Stormblood at that point, so... I'll probably just watch some of it.
We'll keep the credits going for as long as we need to.
Yeah, until we're done saying things, and then I'll be like, okay, thanks to everybody else in the credits, and I'll skip it. Uh-oh. I'm being lambasted by... Oh, never mind. It's her friend. Lino, you gotta stop jumping at shadows. If you're gonna sun drop dance in the face of danger, you're gonna need to learn to stand your ground. I mean, that was only partially my doing, but it was mostly them looking for help, and then they just found it, so... Okay, so they got a botanist, a fisher, and now a carpenter. That should help pretty good.
You know what I wish?
What?
Completely disregarding the entire conversation that you're having right now, I wish that when you clicked on people when they were on mounts, you could see what mounts the mounts were.
Hmm. Yeah, that would be helpful. Do you two want to hide from these Vundu patrols? Or...
Vundu.
Oh, good. They want me to dance off with these Vundu. Fantastic. I will see what I can do then. You want me to dance for you in order to inspire you? Okay. This is going to be funny. Well, I'm not a big dancer. I've been told I have 2 left feet, but I'll do the best I can for you. There you go. Do a little tap for you. I could show you some of the other dances I've learned, but, you know. Alright, Lena, let's see what you've got. Show me the sun drop dance. Beat their ass without beating their ass. Lena, you're gonna have to do more than that. You're doing the best you can, but your shoulders are still slumped and you're barely stomping the ground. The stomping the ground part is the important part here. It conveys power. I mean, keep going, but... Oh, okay. There we go. She's powering up. Never mind. She hit Kaioken now. They're gonna leave. Nice work.
I thought they were just like, oh no! And they just started running.
So you needed to, like, unlock a hidden potential or something in order to properly Sundrop dance? Well, fair enough. She tapped into her chakra. Well, that was funny. Let's head back to the island and see if they're good to go now. We're talking to the chieftain, right? Yeah, we're talking to the chieftain to welcome their new carpenter. Alright, and then Linu will probably end the quest. And then I can go see Tataru about the project that the two of us have been working on remotely together. But first I have to fly across the entirety of the Sea of Clouds. Yeah, this was the part that I figured was probably going to happen with this beast tribe, is that because the Sea of Clouds is such a large open area, you'd probably be flying all over the place, like, without a lot of ground to walk on, so you'd be going from one side to the other over and over again. I mean, it's not a big deal, but, excuse me, I can imagine for some people it's not exactly the most riveting gameplay. Alright, Chief. We have a new carpenter for the new town. I'm sure they'll be helpful with, you know, allowing them to actually put buildings up. Oh, so you weren't so interested when it was a botanist or a fisher, but now it's a carpenter and you're like, hey man, what's up?
How you doing?
Oh boy. True. You guys will probably benefit mutually from all this, because once they've set up their home, you guys will have a very well fortified section of the map here. The two Vanu tribes working in unison. Even the tribes under the white won't be able to stand against you, not easily anyway. I guess Parvati really wants to fly today. That's cool.
Fair enough, TBH.
She has to assert her dominance over the griffins of the Sea of Clouds. Well, that's good. Now all we gotta do is get your brother back and we'll be in good shape. And just don't practice the dance until the food is settled in your stomach, or you're just going to give yourself a big stomach ache. I don't know though, Linu. I think pretty soon you'll get there. Whether that's to your brother or to becoming the leader of this tribe yourself, only time will tell. And it looks like they already got pretty busy because they already have a few structures out here. Yeah, the construction of the Chief's Roost. It's mostly a hovel at the moment, but that's okay. We all gotta start somewhere. And we're starting with a friendly reputation with the Gundu now. So there you go. And what I think I mentioned this with the Kojin, but I'm not sure if I did, so I'll just reiterate. Since I didn't do the quests today because they were already maxed out, I can now do a total of 6 quests with the Vanu today to continue to increase their rank. So by the time the next stream comes around, they'll be ready for rank 4. Which is good. Because the Kojin will also be ready for rank 6 by then, so it'll be in good shape. But I'll take care of that stuff off screen. For now, I think we've done everything that we need to do before moving on with the plot for approximately 5 minutes and then realizing I don't have the soul crystals to go to another place.
A aggressively slow burn story makes my brain want to rip itself out of my head and scream at you personally.
Well, to be fair, it won't be as slow burn as Stormblood was, because we didn't get into
Jesus
Stormblood
Christ.
until like the 10th stream.
Oh shit.
But we're here. We're back at Revenant's Toll. Let me switch to a class that can actually get experience from this whole quest, because I'm pretty sure you can't turn this in on a blue mage. So I'll turn it in on Ninja, why not? Let's go see Tadaru and the rest of the Scions that are here and let them know that I'm alright. I have successfully, physically, and mentally rehabbed myself. And I'm
From
mostly...
the incident.
Yeah, I'm mostly ready to get back to the fight. Friends, I have returned from the brink of death. Even final sting won't keep me down now. What news?
I'm back, bitch. Did you miss me?
Tadaru, I'm glad that you made it back so quickly. I'm surprised your ship came in as fast as it did. Did you take Reyna's speedboat, or did you just teleport? Maybe I shouldn't be making jokes at this point since she's getting emotional.
He's having a
I
moment.
rushed back as soon as I could.
I figured.
I swear, my heart nearly stopped when I heard you'd collapsed like the others. What in heaven's name is going on?
Well, some jackass decided it was a good idea to have me take a nap in the middle of a battlefield under Xenos' blade. Although it's not Xenos, it's actually Elidibus. He's an
Elidibus 2 Electric Boogaloo.
elder Asian guy. Were you there when he was around, Tadaru? I think you were just doing accounting stuff at the time, but... Well, that's the story. It's a long story, but
When
I did just
believed
fade
the
to
path
black to do
walk
it,
leads
so...
only to oblivion. Oh, well, that's helpful.
Look, Tadaru, at this point, if you were looking for helpful advice from people who might be our adversaries, you should be looking in other places. But at least we know there might be a way to go
The
now.
better path leads to him?
I mean, I understand if he doesn't want me to die, but I kind of had the battle under control. Just didn't have White Orsite.
If his is the voice you've all been hearing, perhaps the others are with him.
That was the thought process that I had as well. Why am I surprised by
Cerberus said
this?
the fighting had reached a stalemate, didn't he?
Yeah,
But if
pretty
that
much.
monster masquerading as Xenos comes back...
He'll probably level the Gimlet Dark, which is what I'm worried about.
Thancred, Yestola, Urianger, Alphano, Alize. You're going to need all of them on your side to defeat him.
I'm not actually sure if that's going to help. The last time they fought Xenos, Stola got thrown around like a rag doll and put on a bus for almost the entirety of Stormblood's MSQ. And I'm pretty sure none of the others fared any better. Like, the only one who fared even remotely well is Lise, and she's basically written out of the Scion side of the story at this point.
Still not happy about
And I
that.
Me
forbid you
neither.
from going to face him on your own. Do you hear me?
Alright, fine. I'll wait until I have backup.
So if you must leave, go and find the others. Bring them home.
That's probably a good idea anyway. They've kind of been in a coma for a while. But seriously though, Tadaru, joking aside, I'm gonna find them. You can count on it.
As for where to start, you said the stranger had left a beacon for you at the Crystal Tower, right?
Something like that. I don't know how he managed to put that there, but
But how are you to find it, now that the tower has been sealed shut?
that's a fair question. I wonder if Graha's still got his link pearl in. Would it even be in service still?
There has to be a way. If anyone would know, it's Sid, and the researchers of St. Coinac's find.
Probably a fair point, yeah. Haven't seen Rambros in a
Don't
while.
you worry. We'll find that beacon for you.
Alright. Sounds like a plan, team. I appreciate the assist. I'll give you some time to go look for with Rambros and St. Quinox find. I'll go take care of my soul crystals, and then we'll head out. Meanwhile, in the Imperial Palace...
Meanwhile, in the Imperial shithole...
Oh no. Tell me, for whom do you wait, wrong place. I've done that...
Unfortunately.
I've done that goddamn roulette so many times that whenever I hear this music, that's all I hear.
I'm just happy it's not fucking like 40 minutes anymore.
Yeah, true.
Actually, no cap.
That's fair, actually.
It's like 10 minutes now, and you get just as many tombstones. It's great.
Yeah, like you do pray now, and you're in there for like 25 minutes, including cutscenes. That's it. It's like a regular old end-of-story dungeon now. Anyway, hey look, it's Xenosolidibus.
How can I remain there while the rumor that my son is possessed by a demon spreads like a sickness here at home?
Xenosolidibus.
Oh, there's a rumor spreading around Garlemald that your son's possessed by a demon? I wonder how that rumor got started.
I will not be made to fight for the throne a second time.
You better be careful, Varys. The Populares are coming for you.
Well, what of you? Did you not tell me you would destroy Eorzea's champion with
Oh,
the
no.
ease that one might swat a fly?
Yeah, about that.
A minor setback. Will not escape me again.
A minor setback. Look at this fuckboy. Oh my god, I
Where's your
beat your
grandson?
ass.
I would have words with him.
And I was rusty, and I beat your ass.
How should I know? Do you hide from each other's sight as well? I imagine he's doing what all Ascians do.
Sitting there waiting for the cloud of darkness to return so that they have something else to look at besides the empty void.
He must have found a way to take advantage of this turmoil.
But how could he have done that? Find out, in a while.
Men are not pawns to be played with, Ascian. You underestimate us at your peril.
See, this is what I'm talking about, because quite literally right before the Gimlet Dark, he was like, yeah, so everything has to be returned to nothingness because that's what the Ascians want, and as an extension, that's what I want. And now he's like, oh, well, fuck you, Ascians. I mean, I guess he could have been putting on a front,
Decided
but...
by you and yours. Man must choose his own fate, and I, for my part, will do all within my power to see Garlemald emerge victorious.
So he basically goes from whatever his character was pre-Gimlet Dark to essentially Gaius from A Realm Reborn. He's like, I just got my ass beat. I don't have time to argue with you.
Pray forgive the intrusion, Your Radiance, but the requested preparations are now complete.
And what preparations are that, Imperial Magitech Engineer?
We stand ready to begin production of Black Rose upon your order.
Black Rose? Man, I've been told to go where the wild rose blooms, but I ain't heard nothing about no Black Rose. Actually, I think we have. I'm pretty sure that was in the Stormblood storyline. Like, they talked about it being buried in, near Castrum Oriens. That's that bioengineered chemical weapon that they wanted to murder people with. Oh god, I shouldn't have inhaled that anthrax! Boy, that was a scary face. Too bad they do nothing with it. And that is the credits. Again, for Stormblood. So,
Well, it's technically a Requiem for Heroes' credits, but...
yeah, it's the patch
Semantics.
content credits, you know. And, I mean, we'll let him play out for a little bit, because from what I understand, Cole has a few things he wants to say about Stormblood, and I guess I can rehash my opinion a little bit on it. Cole, do you want to start, or do you want me to start?
You start.
Okay.
For giggles.
So, it's actually really the most interesting new thing that I can say about my opinion on Stormblood is that I was surprised that the Four Lords quest for me was pretty much just fine. Like, it wasn't like particularly up or down. It was just pretty level through the whole thing. There was nothing particularly wrong with it, nothing particularly stellar about it. And it's weird for me because in Stormblood it was like peaks and fucking valleys in the story. It was like I either really liked it or I really didn't. So but playing through the Four Lords quest did remind me that probably the thing that I enjoy the most about Stormblood is the mechanics. I think it's just right in terms of difficulty of the dungeons and the trials for where it is relative to the rest of the game. It's this, the second major expansion of the game besides, so you got a Realm Reborn and then the first expansion, Heaven's Ward, then the second expansion, Stormblood. It feels like the difficulty is right for that point. And it honestly, at the time we played it, I was like, okay, cool. So if they keep going harder and harder in terms of difficulty stuff, like if they keep tuning things up from here, then they'll be in good shape. Yeah, about that. We'll talk about that later. But in terms of just Stormblood by itself, yeah, mechanically, I feel like it's just where it should be. And I honestly enjoy Stormblood's dungeons in passing more than most of the other dungeons from the other X packs, because they just sort of feel mechanically well tuned. And I mean, the music was good. It's like, that's not really a question. It's pretty much, they kept going up and up and up, and they were able to use different types of instruments now because there was a different setting, while still maintaining that level of quality. So it's, It, for me, Stormblood it wasn't as good as Heaven's Ward for me. I'd probably stick it, I forget if I stuck it in It Was Alright or Not a Fan. I think I stuck it in It Was Alright on my list. I can look, I can just get my Google Docs up. Cole, have you prepared your spiel?
Alright, so
Go for it while I look up where this is.
Stormblood for me is probably the weakest expansion of 14. Probably right up there next to a Realm Reborn. On one singular account, on the account that I don't like how Stormblood's story is constructed, because it seems like they were speedrunning missed potential.
They cut it in two.
Essentially.
They cut it in two separate places. They had to go to two separate areas. And because of that, they couldn't explicitly focus on one or the other. They kind of just had to be like, okay, well, we got to go here. Okay, we got to go there. So.
It feels like Stormblood was entirely, scattered all over the place. There are elements of the story that are there to have a lot of potential to do interesting things with. Like, the example I was giving Jimmy in the car yesterday was Yatsuyu. And amongst other things. We'll get to her in a minute. I got a whole section planned out for her.
Oh, man.
It felt like Stormblood was doing the same thing over and over again. Reignite the Embers of Resistance in Doma and there, and they both played out the same way. Everybody was like, oh, we don't want to resist, except in, fucking Garabania, we were like, hey, let's have the resistance. And it was like, yeah, real quick. And then you get to Doma, and it's like,
no.
Okay, let's go here. Okay, they don't want to help us. Oh, because they like being under the Empire's boot, because they're all, broken from several other wars and shit. You had to do that every other place, which is why the fucking planes and everything like that felt so different. Like, the Ruby Sea, we had to get help. Yanxia, we had to get help. And then you get up to the plains with the... Fuck, what were they called? I'm literally in-game right now. Why don't I just look? The Asm Steppe.
Yeah.
You get to the Asm Steppe, and it's like a breath of fresh air, because you're like, damn, I've been doing the same damn thing all this time.
And then they have you do the same thing again after you start the Asm Steppe, and you're like, okay, cool, so we're going to work with these tribes. They're all pretty cool people. And then you get to Dawn Throne, and they're like, we're going to do the same thing.
It's like, even still, the Asm Steppe is like one of those parts of the story where it's like, oh my god, something different is happening. Something interesting is happening, It's not like just something that you can just... How do I put this? Okay, look. My issue with Stormblood is that it is the same thing over and over again for multiple portions of the story, and then it ends. Like,
Yeah.
that's just it.
Yeah.
Like, you ignite the fires of resistance, you beat the shit out of him. Like, the highlight moments of Stormblood for me were the fight against Shinryu,
Yeah, that was pretty
were
good.
the Azum Step,
See, I liked the
and that's
Ruby
like
C.
it. I mean,
Pretty
the Ruby
good.
C was cool too, I won't
So,
lie.
but I'll talk about it. You keep going and tell me when you're ready to switch back for my stuff.
In essence, it's just Stormblood feels like it was made of missed potential for exploration. Perfect example of Yotsuyu.
Hey, look, there she is on the screen.
Listen, okay. Yotsuyu is the most disappointing character this expansion, and I will
my
take
God.
no nonsense from anybody there. She had so much potential to be a good villain, so much potential to be a really cool antagonist that plays into how fucked up Yangsha and Doma really are, and how their piddling in resistance requires a lot more force from us to get them to get back off their asses and not only get their country back, but change. Instead, she took all the potential, threw it out the window, then went outside to grab it again during the patch content, and then threw it out the window again!
She had the potential to be one of the most nuanced sub-villains in any Final Fantasy game, in my opinion, at base. When I first saw her, I was like, oh, you know, she might be pretty interesting. They did nothing with her. Then they brought her back to life because they said, oh, well, we'll just have a second chance with her development, and they did nothing with her.
They brought Yotsuyu back to bait us into thinking that she might actually have an actual character arc, only to murder her off in a way that I disagree with, in a way that I cannot physically describe. Listen, if there's one thing I despise about that specific scene, and I will go off on a tirade about that specific scene where Yotsuyu died, it was the entire lack of autonomy that your character did. You literally sat there while Asahi beat his sister to death. Literally.
Yeah.
You did nothing. And then Yatsuyu's like, yeah, I'm just gonna murder you myself and then die. That's it.
Yeah.
They brought her back to die again, on screen.
Yeah.
Do you wonder why I prefer the other expansions, Jimmy? Especially ones that we'll talk about later.
Again, I'm more of a it's been a thing that I've said recurring over the course of these suggestions, but I've always been more of a mechanics first kind of a person. So like if the story is up and down for me, I can kind of accept it if the mechanics are good, and in my opinion, the mechanics of Stormblood are pretty solid. But yeah, story-wise, you lost me in several places there, Stormblood. That's for sure. Like I said, I kind of liked the Ruby C, but I think I liked it more as a concept than I liked what we did in it. Like the stuff we did with Susanoo was cool. The stuff we did in Shizui the Violet Tides was cool. And honestly, okay, so I'll tell you what I was also telling Cole when we were having this conversation to prep the other day. If they had the War be one expansion and it just took place in Garabania, and then Doma be in a separate expansion, and it was like, okay, so the Empire never took over Doma, they've stood as their own thing. And if you just went to Doma as like a vacation episode extended across 10 levels, and you were just there for like all the lore stuff, like the Four Lords stuff, understanding the cultures of the Azum Steppe, the Ruby Sea, all that stuff. If you were just in Doma for that, and it was stretched across 10 levels, I think it would have been fantastic. Because it would have been kind of a break in the action, sure, but it would have been cool to kind of get all this lore about this new place that we've been hearing about, but we haven't gotten to go to yet. So it just feels like they had to rush through too much of it because they had to do both at the same time, and it's just like, no, guys, you can slow down. Like, you can take your time with this. It's not like you can't be doing this because you're going to be hurting for content later if you just fling all this stuff at the whiteboard and say, no, we got to do it all right now. It's like you're writing yourself into a
literally
corner.
Just what I don't understand, it's just listen. When I played Stormblood, I did not like it in any capacity. In fact, I hated it. Because it felt like at every step, it wasn't a bad story. It's not a bad story, it's just completely filled up with wasted potential.
Yeah, I get
It's
that.
filled to the brim with wasted potential, and that's what makes it frustrating. And that's what I've been trying to articulate for the longest time on this stream. Is that it is frustrating because it is full of wasted potential. Yotsuyu had the potential to be a fucking fantastic villain, and they just threw it away!
Yeah.
And the worst part is, there's even fucking wonderful, like, peak moments there. The fight against Shinryu? Baller!
No, it was good. No, it was good. I enjoyed the fight with Shinryu. It was one of those high moments. Basically, most of the stuff that happened in Garabania, I was perfectly okay with, to be honest. Like, I don't think there was anything in Garabania that I was like, no, I don't like that. To be honest. So, let's talk about the positives. What can you find any positives in Stormblood, including its patch content, Cole? Because for me, patch 4.1 was fucking incredible. It was like going back to, like, Heaven's Ward patch content for me. It's some of the best stuff I played in the game. You know what 4.1 was, right?
That was when we went back to visit Robon and
Nanamo, and we were looking to increase their treasure coffers in Alamigo so they could rebuild the economy. So we went on a fucking treasure hunt, and then Robon and Nanamo had their moment in the flower gardens. So I enjoyed that patch a lot, actually. It was probably my favorite moment in the entirety of Stormblood. So, what about you? What do you think? Anything positive you can pull out of it other than Yotsuyu's wasted potential?
I think Yotsuyu's scenes during a lot of that were great. I thought that when she lost her memory and became Suyu, it was great. It was fantastic watching us explore the whole thing. Because, like, when I first played it, I thought that the way that the story was going to play out is that Yotsuyu would end up being accused of her crimes and, like, having to go to prison for it, but it was a heartfelt sentence because the people of Doma realized that they made Yotsuyu. They made the monster. They caused her to be the awful, terrible tyrant she was because nobody gave a shit about her. Nobody noticed her. They didn't care about their own people. They were just like, oh, this, that, the other thing.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be one of those scenes where Suyu gets imprisoned, but it's like a moment of silence, basically. Like, Suyu acknowledges all the bad things she did as Yotsuyu and wants to serve a sentence for it, but it's not like a triumphant moment for anyone. It is a bittersweet ending to the expansion or the patch content, because now she gets a chance to live her own life with her own choices, with context and emotions for what happened to her. I really thought Asahi was going to murder her parents in front of her, and that was going to be the moment. Like, I didn't get to do that. Like,
See, because I feel like if they had kind of allowed for, like, okay, so can we forgive this person for all of the crazy shit that she did, despite the fact that she was wronged in her childhood, and then she just extrapolated on. Like, that's a shades of gray moment for a character, and I think it could have been an interesting way to kind of put her forward. The only problem that I see is that I hear you talk about what you wanted with Yotsuyu, and that's literally what they did with Feralda.
Yeah.
And so Feralda in that, like, they have Yotsuyu and Feralda in a room, and basically they did everything with Feralda that you wanted to see with Yotsuyu. Even though Yotsuyu's the one that got 2 chances separate from each other to do that. It's like, okay. Alright, but yeah, so for me, it's alright. I actually looked on my list. It's like a mid-C for me. I have actually, like, I switched it over on my little list of things. Before I just had, like, okay, I had enjoyed, it was alright, not a fan, and then first rule of Piranha Bytes were the only 4 ranks. But I actually have tiered them now in case I ever do, like, a tier list or something where I show the games that we've played. And for me, it's like a mid-C, Stormblood. Heaven's Ward is a high C, for reference. So it's all right. I think the mechanics really save it, to be honest. And there are some good story moments, and the music is good. But there are some aspects of it that I'm just like, no, I absolutely, I can't do this. So, what about you? Where would you put it?
Stormblood is definitely C+. A Realm Reborn is definitely C-.
Okay.
Bordering on like a D.
Yeah, a Realm Reborn
because I don't like how long and blown up a Realm Reborn is.
Yeah.
Heaven's Ward is definitely up there. It's definitely like A+.
Okay.
My opinion on Shadowbringers has changed, so I'll tell you that at the end of the stream. And
yeah, we probably shouldn't tip our hats that too early, should we?
And since we're probably not going to be talking about it all that much, Endwalker's S+.
Okay, there you go.
I will explain why during the credits of this stream.
Okay. And I'll explain my fears about Endwalker, having not played it, and the reason why I'm not going to be playing it. One of the reasons why I'm not going to be playing it when we get to that point. A Realm Reborn for me is like a mid-D rank. Actually, I'm looking at the list right now, so mid-D for me isn't really... There's only 5 games in my D ranks, so it's like not really saying much, you know? But, yeah, so... It's, I mean, to be fair to Stormblood, it's my second favorite expansion in the game. But that's not really saying much for me, to be honest, because there's a lot of Final Fantasy games, not even looking outside of the Final Fantasy series, there's a lot of games above it. So, you know.
What were you saying about not tipping your hat too early?
Well, I mean, you should know by now that... Based on what I've said. So, like, I went off on the guy that's sitting on the screen right now. I went off on him like that. Now, that was method acting, to be fair. But if I'm willing to put in that much effort to method act me being pissed off, like, you should know where this is going by now. And I kind of already said it at the beginning of this. I said, oh, well, you know, Stormblood's mechanics, if they kept going with that... Okay, so are we good? Think we're good?
Mm-hmm.
Got everything out?
Mm-hmm.
Ventilated all of your frustrations to Stormblood.
So, fun fact, everyone. You're going to hear something interesting during the credits of this coming expansion, because me and Jimmy have very different opinions.
It's true. That's true. Cole quite enjoys this next X-Pack. Well, I wouldn't say quite enjoys. I think he enjoys it overall. I don't know if it's as good as Heavensward for him, but I think he enjoys it overall. I have a differing opinion. And it's a far differing opinion, mind you. But we'll get to that point. Alright, so I'd like to say thank you to everybody else in the credits after this that I'm going to skip, because again, this is like a 33-minute long credits sequence, and I think we've talked enough. So let's just swap out of that, and we'll finish up this quest line, and then we'll go get my soul crystals taken care of. Did you finish up your thing, by the way, while we were doing this? Or?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
I was in a front line. And those can either take 10 minutes or 40 minutes. There is no in between.
Oh, a new traveling outfit? Awesome, Tadaru. What about the second one? We said 2, right? Oh, good. You packed them both in here. Awesome. Thanks. I will wear these when I finally figure out what's wrong with my soul crystals, but again, I have a lead on that, so... I don't know if there's any rest for me, Tadaru, but I'll do the best I can. Alright, we're done with Stormblood content, except we're not, because there's, we didn't do the Stormblood Alliance raids yet, and I'm sure Cole will be very, very happy to see those again. Oh. Meanwhile, back at Gimlet... Oh, that's not good. That's Resonant Eyes.
My enemy. My friend.
So that's where you went.
Had I been but a step faster.
You would have killed me instead of almost Elidibus doing it.
I feel like he would have killed Elidibus first.
Yeah, he would have tried to kill Elidibus first, even if it meant aligning with me, so that he could have a fight with me again.
Bloody savages!
Know your place, wretch!
A pity your hunt leads you elsewhere. Not that I am surprised. May you find joy in it. Grow stronger, more savage, and savor every triumph. In the meantime, I will reclaim that which is rightfully mine.
Oh no. Starting with this man's life.
I'm not gonna lie. I really like that scene.
Yeah, no, that was well done. I did enjoy that. It has that same feeling of the you know, where has that road led you, back to me type of a dealie from Infinity War. Well, haven't seen the Crystal Tower in a while. Evidently, Graha didn't get the distance phone calling services working in there yet because I can't get in contact with him by Link Pearl. But I'm sure we'll figure out what's up with him because we're probably going to have to bust into the place to find the beacon.
That is also a good shot.
In the midst of a requiem for heroes, a voice rings out across time and space. In fields of tranquil light, sow you seeds of darkness. Boy, it's a good thing I already have the seeds of darkness, considering I have Dark Knight as a thank you. Swan Song. Scion Traveler's Attire Coffer, so this is going to contain all of the new attire that I'm going to be showing off for some of my classes, because I mentioned that there were a total of 3 new glamours that are going to be happening. We'll see 2 of them today. I still have to make the 3rd one. Incidentally, the 3rd one is the one that I've been talking about making with Leatherworker already, so, yeah. Alright, so I'm going to go to Idleshire. I have your...
Funny you mentioned that, I'm already there.
Are you? How did I summon you from the Rhodanite?
Not like that.
I'm going to go to Idleshire, and then I'll summon you from the Rhodanite so that we can follow up with this lead that the Thaumaturge's Guild gave me.
Fair enough.
And I suppose it all tracks, because basically what the Thaumaturge's Guild told me is that if you're looking for information in Eorzea, there is one place that you should be looking to start with, and that is Great Gubal Library. And that makes sense, because that place has, like, everything you could ever need to know in terms of, like, any knowledge you could possibly want. So, let's go see if I can meet with their contact over here. We already know their contact because we worked with them in Heavensward, but let's go see if I can meet with their contact, and then we'll head on out. Ah, there you are. I figured the Rhodanite would work.
Poofed into existence.
Yes. Is this the new glamour, or?
I have a gun glamour now.
Is this the DPS glamour?
Correct. I have another one planned, but it's for specifically the Alliance raids, so I get to keep that secret.
So you don't have to tank or heal, and can I say the name of the second raid yet? Is that not considered a spoiler at this point?
The Tower of Math.
Yeah, the Tower of Math. There you go. That works. Midnight Dew, good to see you again. I am the right man for the job because I understand that you're going to have the same job that I'm going to have. And what's the job? Yes, actually, that was how we got in. Yeah, I used a broom to get in. Oh, okay, so what the Thaumaturge's Guild needs is a heavy leather-bound tome. Alright. I mean, I don't think it was me, but we did kind of leave the doors unlocked when we left, so... Oh, and they left the doors to the Forbidden Vaults open. Fun! Sounds like a plan. Alright, I will meet you there. But before we go, I was going to say let me go check in on my friend, Zloe, at the Hard Place, but let's check in at the markets first and see how they're doing in terms of the merchandise that the Hard Place has had. Now here's the real question, do you have a glamour for your crafter? If not, it's okay.
Unfortunately, was never created with the prospects of crafting.
Yeah, well, no, that's fine. It's no big deal. Anyway, between Iraq and the Hard Place, I'm going to get stuffed Kaisal out of this. That's cool. Oh, Zloe's been talking about me, has she? Oh, that's cool. And what kind of favorite would that be? I have, in fact, seen the man dressed in a pig suit, yes. Oh, huh. Looking as downcast as Azumarill in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet? Seriously, though, like, why the fuck does Azumarill look so depressed in Scarlet and Violet? Every time you throw it into battle, it looks down at the ground like its head tracking is broken. What the fuck? Sorry, I had to get that off my chest because no one has told me the answer yet. I mean, I know the answer, Game Freak, but I'll see what I can do, Gimelana. Let's go see him now before I meet Midnight Dew at the library. Looks like she's getting prepared anyway, so. Was that too much, Cole? Have I complained too much about Scarlet and Violet so far?
To be fair, I do have one counterpoint.
Okay.
Crunch.
Yeah, no, that's probably the reason for most of the problems.
Precisely.
That being said, they did decide to release, like, I've heard 5 Pokemon games over the past 2 years, which makes no goddamn sense. They just release one per year around Christmas time, because then they'll sell really well. Anyway. Not here for drink. I guess you could call me your therapist. Oh, hey, Zoe. I still like the outfit that I gave to her after her quest is over. Maybe I should get one for Adkirag when this is done. Something like that. You could say that, yeah. I can't look into your eyes. They're hidden behind a pig mask. Are you looking at his ledger? Oh boy. Why do you keep your ledger on the front counter? Oh no. How is Chloe supposed to run her shop if the hard place is taking a massive loss? That's not good. That's not what the paper says. Well, that's true. I mean, the Far East has been the kind of place that people consider, because now it's not under Imperial rule, so people who thought it was exotic before are now completely enticed, and to be fair, I did just save the place from a god dragon and also revive an age-old fishing tradition, so there's a lot more to do now culturally over there.
Correction, we saved the place from a
It's
god
true.
dragon.
That's true, we did, yes. I'll still take credit for the fishing tradition, though.
Yeah, you can take all the credit you want for that.
Not a big fan of fishing, even though you're an auspice, and technically speaking, you were born under the sea.
It's wet.
Yeah, fair. Zoe, you ate a lot of flatbread because that was all you could get your hands on back in the day. That's true, we do have to think of the children. Please think of when you fed them, because I don't want to...
yesterday or the day before.
Oh, Zoe. Never change. Uh-oh.
She does realize we're rich, right?
We are, but Adkirag might not be. A place to hide? Oh boy. Here, take this pig mask. It worked so well for me back in A Realm Reborn with the Crystal Braves. Oh my god. He literally just... what's with the men in black with the JoJo coiffs anyway?
Oh.
Oh my god. Like, what is it with these people? Melody? Never heard of her.
Who the fuck's Melody?
I don't know. I have a head knife, and I'm not afraid to use it.
I'm literally standing right next to you, and my gun is taller than me.
You're off camera.
I'm aware.
Looks like that's why they're leaving.
Knew the gun would work.
It just pans the camera over slightly, and you're just standing behind Zoe with your inner release eyes.
Things if I could use SFM I would make.
No, that's fair, actually. If they were treating you wrong, then you should be able to flee the household and go directly to Sir Emmerich so he could tear the household limb from limb.
Somebody say they were abusing you. Not for long. Sir Emmerich, just eyes glow. Woke as shit.
Not if I have anything to say about it, Adkirag. A new menu, huh? Well, that's fair. We could start with Ishgardian dishes, and then we could branch out, maybe even start with some Far East dishes. Now that I've been over there, I'm cultured enough to know how to actually cook some Far Eastern recipes. So...
Steph's standing right next to you.
Quite a few things. They might need oven mitts, which would be where this head knife would come in handy. I've supplied you before, Zoe, so I can supply them. And besides, Idleshire probably needs a second wind at this point. We haven't really been back here in a while, so... And now they don't have the threat of Alexander looming over them, so that, you know, helps even more. Alright, Zoe, you go do what you think is best. I'll see what I can do for Adkirag here. It has been decided for you, because evidently you can't keep the numbers very well, so... I will do the best that I can. Yeah, I'll get what I usually get from the house. This is the second set of custom deliveries that we're going to do, by the way, in case it was unclear. Alright, I will see what I can do about getting you some Ishgardian culinary essentials. It's a good thing I was just in Imperium, because that would allow me to get a sneak peek at what Ishgardian oven mitts look like. We can now do custom deliveries with Adkirag. And we're going to do a few right now. But first, this joyous painter over here has some paintings that I might want to grab. Which ones do I want to grab? Nadalin and the Isles of Umbra. So one is in Lanasia. I'm going to grab these for my, whatchamacallit, for my paintings back home, since I kind of don't have anything for them. But I might as well get them now while I'm here. And the other one is Nadalin, which I think would be in Kurthus. Nadalin illustration, there we go. Cool. We'll put those up the next time we go. I'll also show off the model star globe that I got as a reward from the Scholastic kit. It was actually a lot easier to just build it myself. Like, the materials weren't really very... I could basically buy them from vendors, except for one, which I bought off the market board for, like, pennies. So, yeah, it wasn't too bad. Okay, so we need to do custom deliveries before we leave, while we wait for Midnight Dew to get ready. We need Ishgardian culinary essentials, and thankfully, just like all custom deliveries, you can quite literally just walk over here and buy everything that you need, so. Now, I'm not going to buy 6 worth like I did with Kurenai, because I totally forgot how custom deliveries work. We'll just buy enough to make 3, because then he'll want us to make 3 more after that. So, but this one's a little bit higher leveled than Kurenai's, so it'll be a little tougher, but not by too much, so. Let's see here. So I need a total of 6 of these. And you can also make them raw if you really want to, but yeah, you know. Is that your crafting, Glamour?
You said you needed Ishgardian crafting essentials. I'm standing right here.
That's true. Did you go talk to Adkirag about helping? Even though, you know, you're an auspice?
I unfortunately cannot help, as I did not follow this questline.
No, well, you can help later. Step into my office and watch me craft so that you can maybe figure it out. So that you can then go do it off screen every week.
I also just realized that my crafting hotbars are completely fucking wrong now.
Well, I will help you fix that later, but for now, let's just make these. It is just 3, right? I just want to make sure his isn't different from everybody else's. No, it's just 3. Okay. Well, then let's make some of these. And, you know, actually before I make these, let me partake in some clam chowder, because I think that's the one that gives me crafting bonus. And then maybe I'll have it for the dungeon, too. Here, you want some food for the dungeon? Hang on. Adkirag gave me some extra. There you go.
Thanks.
You're welcome. I don't know why you have to eat, but maybe it's just going to have a metaphoric effect.
It's for the morale.
There we go. Alright, there's Guardian culinary materials a go-go. Let's head knife this shit. Make some oven mitts. Prudent touch like a maniac.
You know, there are other tools in the kitchen aside from oven mitts.
Yes, I'm aware. But these are the ones that I can make on Leatherworker, and currently Leatherworker's the one that needs to get the levels, so... I'll be helping him with the menu more later on down the quest line. Oh, it's a good thing I did that because I didn't have any durability left.
Lol.
Whoops. I wasn't looking at my durability. I didn't realize it wasn't whatchamacallit, 80. Let me just observe that. There we go. I should put up waist knot, actually. And, I don't think Burgets can finish this off at the moment, but I'll try. Okay, I can. Good. And then...
Gun.
This does 400 something, right? 438. That's not quite enough. I'll bet you if I observe and then focus synthesis, though, it will be enough. Hell yeah. Now I can keep the durability. Not that it matters. As long as you get it before, you know, as long as you don't have anything left to do when it's at 0 durability, it doesn't make a difference, but... I like making things harder on myself, what can I say? Can I Great Strides Burgets this from here? Yes, I can. Good. Then we will Venerate. And since Venerate is 4 steps, I'll just do 2 Focus Syntheses. And that'll be enough. Actually, I don't even need 2.
I find the angle of the scene slightly amusing, because the way that my camera's positioned, you can see Rory grinning with the gun.
Oh no.
And she's just staring at you crafting, like, hurry up, your life depends on it.
Hurry up, Midnight Dew can't wait much longer.
Midnight Dew called me. They are ready. I am also ready. Make yourself ready, or I will make you unready.
You know, thinking about it, because if you're going to go in on a DPS, we're probably both going to go in on a DPS, so I probably could have done this after. Well, I'll have more that I can do after.
Oh, I thought you were going in on a healer.
I could go in on Scholar to make it a little quicker. I just wanted to play Ninja because I haven't played Ninja yet, but I can do that later, like in the field and Shadowbringers, and it'll be fine.
Fair enough.
So...
Actually, I have a plan.
Oh, okay. So let me turn in these culinary essentials. I've got oven mitts for you. I'm sure those will come in handy while you cook the stuff that Melody tells you how to cook. True. Nah, I've been told that. I don't usually like that designation, but, you know. Have the other oven mitts that I've made. One for Melody, and then one for Zoe in case she wants to contribute as well. Well, one pair. Sounds like a plan. Let's put that new menu to use. Oh, by the way, you may be wondering how I got Leatherworker up to 79 so fast. I might get to talk about that as well. While we're waiting for Q. Well, good, because that's what you need to do. You need to have them spread the word about this place. Looks like Melody's settled in. Despite the fact that she didn't change out of her clothes. That's what I'm saying. Okay, sure. It just looks like you're dressing like one half of the outfit and he's dressing like the other. Oh, Jesus. Well, that makes sense. Uh-huh. I've said it before, I'll say it again, there are differing levels of beauty. I said cute before, but same thing. He's a man of many cultures. Uh-huh. I wonder if Adkirag had become the Khan at the Dawn Throne if we wouldn't have had so much trouble at the Azim Step back in the day. Nothing that you'll understand being from Ishgard only, Melody. We'll explain it to you when you learn about Azim Step culture. You know, man, I'm aware of how this all works. I've been to the Azim Step. You can talk to me about it. So we have become a friend of the hard place. Adkirag considers us a friend now. I also probably shouldn't have skipped rank 3 for Kurenai because I did that off screen. Basically what ended up happening with that is that they now need me to make cold weather outfits for them because they can't produce heating on their own down in the ocean. So. Are you watching something? I think hear it over your microphone.
Oh, shit. I forgot that my new phone speaker is not trash.
What do you guys need now, Mapopo? A proposal. Okay, sure. What do you got? Oh, okay, nice. We gonna make moonshine in the back? A house spirit, huh? It's not a bad idea. So I have a better idea, actually, Adkirag. I think you guys can produce the reagents you need to make those spirits on your own. But what you really need to do is you need to invest in merchandising, my friend. As an example, let's say you bottle this spirit. Well, actually, what'll then happen is they'll drink it all down while they're here, and then they'll leave. But what if, and follow me here, they had a leather satchel to hold the bottle in with them? Then not only could they take it with them on the road, then other people can see this leather satchel branded with the Hard Place brand name, of course, and then they could say, oh, that's cool, where'd you get that? And then they'd all come here. I know a little bit about merchandising. I helped reconstruct an entire village. So I'm going to do that for you, but first we're going to go talk to Midnight Dew before she gets angry with me, and by extension, this one here gets angry with me. Let's go to the hinterlands. There's an Ethernet shard right here. Just use this. It's easier to get out to the hinterlands. Epilogue Gate. That's the wrong one. Prologue Gate. Are you coming out with me? Do you need a ride in the car?
I have another idea.
Oh, okay.
Actually, yes, I do need a ride in the car. I'm saving that joke for later in the expansion.
Oh, okay. I have a car. Can you get in without being in the party? Or here, hang on, I got it. I wasn't sure if you could get in without being in party. There. Alright, let's go fly directly past where we almost destroyed time as we know it.
Good times.
How do you remember that?
Rory gave me all of her memories from the previous adventures for the sake of posterity.
Oh, fair enough. That would probably make it easier so you don't have to, like, level yourself.
Though weirdly, they are much more abstract than they were before. You had a much I've noticed that you had a much larger role in many of her achievements.
It's not that I had a much larger role, it's that I have a photographic memory and she does not. No
Perfect
offense.
example being mentioned. Perfect
No offense,
example being that. Yeah.
Example being, you were starting.
Example being, on the subject of the dragon that you slew at the end, that was inhabited by one Xenos yay bastard.
Yeah, that guy. I'm gonna use this like a runway.
Correct. It was Rory who single-handedly lanced the dragon's heart directly out of her head and murdered Xenos in the process.
Hmm. That's interesting. I don't think she was playing Dragoon at the time.
She was.
Was
Out
she?
of character.
Out
Yeah,
of character.
I wouldn't do that on Dragoon.
Fair enough. But it's a fun fight on a melee DPS. If he uses Aerial Blast, you can use Arm's Length and then LB3. It's really fucking cool looking. Because everyone else is getting blown off the platform and you're just like, fuck you!
Ah!
Okay, a door to my left. Well, we didn't go through that the last time, but again, we did leave the doors unlocked, so, you know.
A door to the left. There is no door to the left over here.
She means inside these doors to the left.
Mm.
In any case, the Great Gooball Library Hard Mode is now accessible.
It'd be really funny if we went into the normal version. At some point, we saw the door that led into hard mode, and it was just there at all the time.
I think it is there. It's in, like, the first room, and it's locked, if I remember correctly.
That's amusing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is in there. So, all right. If you'd like, I don't think there's anybody in chat currently, but if you'd like to join us for Gooball Library Hard Mode, we'll go in like a minute. Put this stuff down.
Get my music back on.
I got more food, by the way. You want some?
I am all right. I do not require sustenance.
Tempura platter, high quality. Jamo moussaka. Moussaka? I don't know how to pronounce this. It's definitely not masaka, though. Also high quality.
Thankfully, I do not require sustenance.
That's true. You are an auspice. It's mostly just for morale. Okay, you ready to go? I'm gonna go.
Yee.
If you're ready to go. Gotta pull down the Heavensward menu. This is one of the last dungeons from Heavensward that I haven't unlocked yet. I like how the description of the dungeon immediately says, your reputation clearly precedes you. Alright, so let's see if we can find this book that they were looking for. And by the way, I mentioned that the Thaumaturge's Guild told me about the fact that they needed me to help look for this book. I agreed to this in exchange for also being able to look at any of the books in the index that had anything to do with soul crystals, because again, if you need to know how something works here, you go to Gooball Library, and I'm sure there will be something in here about soul crystals. Let's go find out if we can find it. After we queue in. Are you gonna wait here, or are you gonna come back to town with me? I was gonna go back to Idleshire and see if I could start on Adkirag's other 3 deliveries.
I shall return with you.
Okay. I'll probably get there, and then immediately, like, immediately queue us in, because we already have a healer, so it'll take, like, no time at all.
Because of course it will.
Yes. Oh yeah, I didn't mention how I got Leatherworker as high up on levels as I did in the past 2 days, so I'll take a look at my classes/jobs here so you can take a look. Miner is at 80 now. There's Gooball Library hard mode. I'll tell you about these after, if I remember how to do it. So, if I remember to do it, rather. But for now, in we go. Let's go find this book. Well, at least they've got some friendly people to introduce themselves when we first get here. And more invisible guys.
This place smells like... old.
Well, the books are all probably pretty musty. I'm also getting a faintly familiar scent from somewhere in here. I don't know how to describe it without getting you upset.
Hey.
So,
Hey Marie, how's it going? Welcome back. You did come in at a good time. Yes, we are starting Gooball Library hard mode. I am not on the correct chat. There we go. Because I forgot. But where could this invisible goblin-looking thing be taking us? To bibliophobes. Oh, good. Oh, okay. Because their tank stance isn't on. I see. This is gonna be fun. I've already burned Bloodbath and we've only been here for 2 minutes. Yeah, hang on, there we go. Tank stance is on. I was about to put that in chat. Spook Library. See, Knives, assuming some of your 3 soul gems are still borked. Yeah, Dark Knight and Summoner and Samurai are still borked, but I'm more worried about Dark Knight and Summoner because I have a melee DPS at the moment, so... I mean, I'm worried about Samurai, sure, but, like, not as much as I was. So. Plus, I'm, like, you know, actually kind of good at Ninja. Like, I'm not trying to toot my horn or anything, but I actually kind of understand the rotation on a fundamental level, so...
Let's toot my own horn. Ha ha.
Yeah, just doing it anyway. The Boy and the Dragon J. I'm not going to get to read this yet, so I'm just going to stick it in my chat and I'll read it later. This will be a nice warm-up for Ninja, though. I mean, I've pretty much got the whole rotation down, but... Okay, Smite of Gloom. Let me wait for that. Not Rabbit. There we go. And not get Terror-Eyed, because I don't currently have Bloodbath. It's a good thing I moved. Oh good, Ripples. Well, that's fun.
Ooh.
It's alright, we'll get our health back. Why did I move? That's not how that positional works. Of Love's Unrequited. Yeah, not gonna get to read this. That's okay.
Put it in your chat for later.
Yep. Oh, good. Another demon wall.
What the book doing?
Not being checked out. Never mind, it's not a book. He was bamboozling us. Folio? I wonder if that's the AoE. Not really. Oh right, I can actually DPS without issue. Without losing my combo now. I forgot about that for a second. Now way are we gonna go this time? This way, evidently. I don't know if this is considered side or not. Though. I see the problem. I love how I just walked into that after it went off. Like it ain't nothing. Trick attack is going up. I don't have Mug anymore, but... Actually, I shouldn't even say that trick attack's going up, because that's a selfish DPS now. Nobody else gets to take advantage of it except for me.
Imagine that.
Oh, I see the problem. Whee! Man, you were in the right spot, huh?
Radiant Savage makes me... If there's one thing that Radiant Savage did for me, it made me respond to AoE markers much faster.
True. I kind of just ran all over the place there, but hey, it works. Ah, so this is the other one from patch 3.4 then, because that's the Valkyrie stuff that you could get in, whatchamacallit, in Zelfatal. Marie wants to know how P4S was, because she heard that fight was shit. That bad, huh? That was a gurgling noise in case that didn't show up on the microphone.
Inax is piss ass.
I don't know what that means.
I don't want to talk about it.
Fair
Actually,
enough.
I will talk about it because... Listen. Phase 1 of the Dorpus had this mechanic called Pinax. Here's what it was, broken down to simple. The fucking boss would basically create 4 areas of the arena. One was fire, one was lightning, one was water, one was poison. Fire was light party stacks. Lightning was a radial AoE from where he was from the square. Poison was spread, and which one was I missing? Water was a knockback. And he would throw these mechanics out in sets of 2. There would be a small delay between the mechanics to give you to move.
Ah, cool.
Now, you see, here's the problem. You'd think a mechanic that was so arguably simple would be, like, simple, right?
Maybe.
It was not.
It was not.
It was not.
It never is.
Lightning Poison was the worst one. You know why? Because you had to stand at the edge of the arena, all crowded up, because if you were near the tile, you died. And the only way to survive was to stand at the edge of the arena. And then you had maybe a second and a half to move to position for poison spread.
Fun. Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie to you,
Armor crushed.
and this is me being completely honest. Phase 1 of P4, hardest fight of the tier. Phase 2 was a joke.
Oh, okay.
On the culinary applications of Coblins.
You can use Coblins to cook?
Well, why don't you take a look at yourself? I'm staring at the book right now.
Oh boy. This sounds like a joke.
I love how you're just, like, hidden. I haven't had to heal this entire dungeon. What the hell?
It's a 60 dungeon. And we're not... You know what I wanted to do, though, with this one? This is one of the ones that I wanted to go in minimum eye level, because it's the mechanics of it are actually really fun, and we're going to get to do, like, none of them. Because we just will kill everything way too fast.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Oh, Liquid Flame's here. I haven't seen you since the Mass Carnival. Yeah, it's his cousin.
His angrier cousin.
Cole, she pre-pull ramparted.
That's a good sign.
Bibliocide. I hope he doesn't burn the book I need, or he's gonna be meeting his cousin in hell a lot faster. Oh, that's an Ifrit thing. That was unexpected. Slosh. Oh, you better get the hell out. Break that tether. I think. Ooh, nice. Now, don't you wish you could spread that shield like I can?
What the fuck?
Oh, I should be right, taunting. Hold on. Ooh, what's the buff say? Anthropomorph. The fluid... Okay. Never mind. Tornado! Don't stand in it, probably.
Oh.
Ferrofluid.
Oh god, not the fucking magnets!
Oh, you're negative. Hang on. Oh, opposites attract. I should go over here. I'm gonna go in. Yep.
Ah!
I didn't see the
I'm on
negative above his head
fire.
too quickly. So, should be using Shade Shift as well, but that's fine.
Remember when I said I didn't need to heal?
Okay, now I need to stay here. I wonder if arm's length works on this.
Oh no.
Good luck. Assuming
I'm
yourself.
on fire!
Oh, he's changing again. The Hand. Seal of Night and Day. I know how this works.
I don't.
I think.
Goodbye, Cruel World. Oh.
It's okay. I got him. Cole's reaction is similar to second turn Savage PTSD. Oh boy. Second turn Savage.
Piss
Yikes.
ass. I have nothing else to say, just piss ass.
Okay, well that's 2 down.
But my reaction to that is nothing in comparison to P3 SD.
I don't know what that is.
P3 Savage is the most bullshit, unfair Savage fight I have experienced in my entire time playing. Now granted, I've only experienced 8 of them. Technically 10 of them if you count Phase 2s. But P3...
Proceedings of the Council of Magic.
I could spend an hour explaining why that fight is horseshit.
That was talking about White Mage stuff.
Uh-oh.
You think if we didn't kill these Paragos, they'd tell us where the book I'm looking for is?
Perhaps. Or they just might stab you and turn you into one of them.
Yeah. Return to Frog.
As opposed to Return to Monkey.
I don't know which one would be worse, honestly. Yeah, so I guess they changed the way that they had the cure spells named at some point from like the old school Final Fantasy spellings to cure 1, 2, 3, and 4, according to the record that I just looked at. I'm like kind of scrolling through it slightly in my
Unrelated,
chat.
I'm pretty sure you can come into this dungeon in Explorer mode, so you can read all the lore.
Well, that's good, because that actually saves me a lot of trouble, because then I could just come in here on Explorer mode and find the book that I'm looking for after I find the one that Yaya K is looking for. That's the Thaumaturge Guild's receptionist, by the way. How do I know that she's the one looking for it? Because I mentioned it at the beginning of this. They're the ones that told me. So.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna go get this treasure chest. I'm gonna finish my Hake Mujin Sats first, then get it because I can do this. I should have just teleported back. Oh well. I can't greet on those, can I? Oh, I think I passed on them the first time. Did I catch one? I did. That's okay. Oh, I'm out. That's fine. Cole, I ran out of ammo.
That's fine, just reload.
I can't reload my Mudras. They take 20 seconds to come back.
Understandable. Sad we haven't been getting a lot of Valkyrie armor, as we've just been getting accessories.
Yeah, for the most part. Did we open the treasure chest at the last boss? I'm pretty sure we did.
Yeah, we did.
Sorry I didn't see all the chat there, Marie, by the way. I'll check it out once I'm done. I just don't want to be, you know, AFKing basically in the dungeon. So, Condensed Libra, that's a Blue Mage spell. You never got to use it. Actually, you know the thing that...
Libra.
Yeah, basically, yeah. You know the thing that I mentioned earlier where I said, I'm not sure how to say this without getting you upset? I'm not even sure if we'll see that mechanic. That's how quickly you kill things in this dungeon. Oh, look, it's that guy that was a boss in Gooball normal mode.
The Boy and the Dragon Gay, a literary analysis.
Oh my god. Hang on, I gotta see this. Oh good, and he's magic hammering, which gives me a reason to go see it. There, that's what I wanted to do the first time. Oh look, and I even got my positional because he turned it in exactly the right direction. Oh, Bone Shake's somewhere else. Evidently he didn't hear me. I said someplace else. Like in hell, with Liquid Flame and Living Liquid.
The party with 3 Vuln stacks. Just party. Rory screaming.
It's a good thing they were quick phone stacks. Hey look, a chair!
What the chair doing? Oh, this is a nice-ass reading room.
Sure is. Wonder if the book we're looking for is in here. We'll
It's a
have
lot
plenty
of
of
shelves in this
plenty of
book.
time to look at the Eldritch Horror Abomination stories in here. I'm sure there's a whole section dedicated to them. But first, we have to check our books out with the librarian.
Hoot!
No, probably Hoot's cousin. Strix! Yeah, so the mechanic that I was talking about, like I said, we probably won't even see it. But it
It'd be really
involves...
fun if we did.
It would be funny if we did, actually, but I don't know if it's going to happen. I'm going to wait to tell you what it is until after we're done fighting this thing. Oh, look, he's checking out.
Our
That's
lives.
good. Maybe we'll find the book that I'm looking for while he checks out. I know I'm Hyotaning, by the way, if anybody knows what Ninja does.
You can always slow
I'm
down your
getting
rotation if you
muscle
want to see
memory.
more mechanics.
On the properties of Quakes. Max melee range, get in here! He's not in max melee range. My gust slash. Oh, he's checking out a different book. Theories on the existence of river imps. I'm pretty sure that's not a theory. I'm pretty sure that's a fact now. Okay, we got water and darkness. On the properties of darkness, 2. Well, we know what the water one does now because the tank took it. On the properties of tornadoes. In here, I'm Leaden. Goodbye. Don't take Vuln stacks as an imp. It's not fun. Just judging by the Dragoon. On the properties of imps. Aha! Yeah, so if you're an imp, it turns you back. On the properties of Thunder 3, I'm just gonna shade shift this. I think I'll be fine. Just don't be an imp when this happens because you get lightning resist down when you're an imp. So, there you go.
Local Lalafell forgets to heal. .mov.
I would prefer not to do that last part, actually. Oh, there it is. There's the mechanic.
Oh.
Ecliptic meteor? Oh, not again. Well, okay. Come back here. I'm trying to kill you before the meteor hits. Man, the tank is really making that difficult. Don't stand in the middle, by the way. Do stand behind that, though. 5 seconds. So I have a question.
Oh boy, I can't wait for the entire party to die, just like in the regular version. Oh, thank God.
So I have a question. How do we always find behemoths when you're here?
Because God hates me, Jimmy Grayston.
Yeah, fair enough. I activated sprint, but I don't think it's gonna work. I'm just gonna braver it. That's fine. No quake for you!
On the properties. God damn it. That was actually a good fight.
How about this? On the properties of grounding evil birds. Good job, team. That was a good warm-up for Ninja. Oh, look, the book I'm looking for. It's the one for Yaya K, but it's still the book I'm looking for.
The way that book landed, it was almost like Strix was like, please, enjoy your stay.
I'll give the tank a commend. Oh, look, Necrologus transcription. You want agreed on that?
Is it tradable? Yeah, it is.
Oh boy. Ray says, I love those. Alright, I'll take the book, and then I'll be back, because we gotta look for the book that I'm looking for. You spammed the dungeon for one. Nice. Let me read chat now while we're working on this. Washing about a week's worth of dishes because you cleaned out the fridge earlier, rather taking a break right now. Washed about half of them already. Okay, well, you're making some progress then. That's good. Used to be a Dragoon stan, now Ninja's your best friend. For some reason, you just fell out of Dragoon. I like Ninja, but I still feel like they don't really know what they want to do with it. And I mentioned it when I first put the crystals on, but Bunchin doesn't feel like a capstone skill. It fucks in AoE situations, but in single target, it's like... Might have been losing the ability to just maintain Blood of the Dragon by being smart and using your extenders, then being dumb
Jimmy,
and using
party
Greaskogel as often as I'll give you party lead. Okay.
Yeah.
Promote. What are you going to do?
This.
Explorer mode?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Cool. And we can go look for the book. Squeeze 6 of the Gearskogels in 2 minutes. Does that sound right, Cole? 6 Gearskogels in 2 minutes on older Dragoon?
Oh, Jesus Christ. That was like... that was like if you were cracked.
Yeah. Thank you for using True North to hit your position. Yeah, I play a little melee DPS. Heard stories that fight was not fun. You thought I did this dungeon ages ago, to be honest? Yeah, we did the normal mode, but we didn't do this one, so... Living Liquid plus Living Flame was a hard as hell fight, and it was satisfying as fuck as a result. Cole did, in fact, get clotheslined, yes. Same with the Verdant Partition. 200k for a fucking partition. I hate this economy. We haven't shown Explorer mode yet, have we? This was a good idea. We can now show what Explorer mode looks like.
You can also do this in Explorer mode.
Yeah, show the Sage LB3 because we're probably not going to get to see it otherwise. Yggdrasil tree.
It's so fucking cool. It's so cool.
Let's go to the Rare Tomes room, actually.
Alright.
So that way we can go look for this book.
Just remember, check all the lore while you're here.
Yeah.
All the books you missed.
Go look at the Eldritch Abomination section if you want. I'm going to look, see if I can see a section that has a marking that I'm looking for. You may be shortlisted for a position. You were supposed to get a screening call, and a recruiter literally told you that his boss told him to submit you for the job without the screening call. So yeah, okay, well that's good. Hopefully you're on the short list then now. Pay $7 an hour more in your current job. Yeah, I'd be happy about that too, to be fair. So, oh, I can even put a striking dummy down here if I want to. If I want to do it like this, so we can put it down
prospects.
Like here. Put it down right here, and I can look at Strix and be like, "Here's what I think of your damn books." And just, you know, casually do 105,000 damage. So there's a striking dummy there if you get bored. Oh, there's one over there. That's looks like something vaguely what I'm looking for. It's on Nymean marine culture. Hang on, let me see here. I don't have the read book emote, but just pretend I'm reading the book. I guess I could switch to Scholar and pretend I'm reading the book. Can I do that? Yeah, I sure can. Okay, I'll just switch to Scholar and read the book. How about that?
On the prospects of taming Voidsent.
Oh, good. They probably could use that one, considering the fact that the Reapers have gone public now.
Maybe I'll bring this book to them. Lord knows what they'd give me.
You never know. It might be worthwhile. Want that fucking lamp over there? Yeah, that is a pretty cool lamp, all things considered. Alright, so, Nymean marine culture. Let me turn to the proper page here. There we go. It's right here in the... This is the 18th chapter of Nymean marine culture. It's on the properties of soul crystals. Let me do a little speed reading here, see if I can find what I'm looking for. Here we go. Nemean Marines were highly interested in the relationship between serious injury and the inability to tap into the energies of soul crystals due to constant threats by marauders at their borders. More stuff about how they tried to find solutions. The primary function of a soul crystal is to retain and pass along knowledge. If a crystal bearer is killed or seriously injured, the crystal has a failsafe that cuts off their access to the crystal, so that the knowledge doesn't die with them. The crystal then awaits a different, unique energy signature to pass along its knowledge to another individual sometime later. Many attempts have been made to reactivate the crystals. They list a whole bunch of them here. Here we go. The most successful method is the reliving of experiences shared with the crystal itself. If one draws on the memory of a particularly vivid or challenging experience shared with the soul crystal and challenges it solo, it may reawaken to the bearer's energy signature and allow them to use it again. Let's see. This process does not guarantee success. Such techniques have allowed a number of Nemean scholars, particularly those with photographic memories or active imaginations, to return to service after recovering from their injuries. It doesn't say anything about my scholar crystal staying intact after my near-death experience, though. Maybe Eos and Celine just put in a good word with the Fey Union with me. Yeah, I did all that just for a stupid joke that wasn't even that funny. Sorry. I needed a class that actually had, like, cold weather gear on, and that's why I kept Scholar intact. Alright, you want to explore some more, or are you ready to go?
Well, I thought you were going to go look at the books.
I did look at the books, I just found the one I was looking for.
Oh, I thought you were going to go look at the books throughout the dungeon.
Oh, I've got those in my thing. I'll look at those on my own time, it's fine. Guess you can't fucking reincarnate and take your old crystal back unless Allie and you take soul crystals each. I mean, if you divvy it up, it might work out. No lie, Eos and Celine are the best friends you could have. Evidently for me, too, because they apparently they put in a good word with the Fey Union for me, so now I can just not have to worry about re-summoning my crystals or anything. Here, I'll fly you back.
Here we go.
Alright, we gotta go see Midnight Dew, and then see if she's gonna take this to Yayake, the Thaumaturgist Guild, or if I'm gonna take it. So, excuse me.
Based on the green check mark, I have a suspicion.
Yeah, probably. It's probably fair. Now, it did mention in the tome that I had to confront it solo, which means, I mean, I can just let you, like, idle in, no pun intended, I just realized, Idleshire, right? Maybe you can figure out how to cook something even though you weren't created with those parameters.
Fair enough.
I mean, you did have a chef's outfit on a minute ago.
I did.
Maybe you can recall the vivid memory of Rory cooking.
Perhaps.
You know, that's a fair thought, actually. I just thought about that. I should bring Rory some cuisine from out here when I find her. If she's where everybody else is, then she could probably use some food from this world. It might actually make her happy. We're coming in for a landing.
And straight into Idleshire.
And run over that warrior. I think that was a warrior.
Nah, they'll be fine. It's a warrior.
It's true.
Warriors are built different.
It's also true. Alright, I'm going to repair my gear because I might actually need it in a minute when I go confront this stuff. I got to find a nice corner where I can meditate on the experiences that I've had. It's probably someplace I can go for that. I should repair my leatherworker gear too. Oh yeah, that reminds me actually. You might be wondering, like I said before the dungeon started, how I got my miner to 80 and leatherworker to 79 so quickly. So, I don't remember when they added this, but there are now material suppliers at the various endgame hub worlds, so like Idleshire, Ralger's Reach, that sort of stuff. And what their purpose is they sell the normal quality materials that you can use for the not custom deliveries, but the okay, it's not on this list, but the deliveries that you can give to your not your grand company, but the ones that you can give that like there's a collectibles appraiser and then there's a scrip exchange basically in each of the major cities. and you can exchange the collectibles that you've created for scripts there. So there are NPCs now that actually sell those materials that you need for the script stuff, and you can just spam those over and over again. And like, I think the highest level one for Leatherworker, if you get it to maximum collectability, gives like 500,000 experience a piece, which is like a tenth of a level at level 79. So that's kind of, you know, a little bit. I'm gonna disband party since I need to, or I'm gonna leave party.
Do the
since I
thing.
need to do the thing, yeah. So.
Okay.
The kids are here, but the kids are all right. I'll just be over here in this nice place, this nice fountain. Old threat of yours: when someone is abusing you as a scholar in content. My fairy makes up half of my healing sometimes, and I will leave you in her hands if you keep that shit up. And she can't lift or carry you; she will drop you. So stop being a shit, please. Yeah, fair enough. I'll fucking write NPCs fix stuff and you don't craft. You've been fixing your own shit for so long you forgot. Yeah, I just don't have Omnicrafters, so I can't fix all my own stuff. So I just let the NPCs do it. It's fine. Alright. So, I need to go deliver the book before I do this. I was about to take care of my own shit before taking care of Midnight Dew and Yayake's problem. Let me go fix that first. And then I'll take care of my own shit. Actually, it's probably better because I should probably go find a place where I can, like, put on my new clothes that Tataru and I worked on jointly. I'm gonna need, like, a fitting room. Maybe I'll go back to the Rising Stones. Oh, look, Topaz Carbuncle's here. Hi, buddy. I can't remember the last time I summoned you.
What the...
Yeah, it actually wasn't that difficult of a dungeon. I mean, I've kind of done most of the mechanics that Strix did in Blue Mage content, so... and Liquid Flames as well, so... Won't call yourself an Omnicraft till you have a full set of high-quality pentamelded gear. Same with Omnigather. Oh, Jesus. Good luck with that. Pentameld is difficult. I don't think I've ever gotten a pentameld. I think I've gotten 4, but not quite 5.
I've gotten 5 before.
Nice.
It's not worth it.
You run through so much materia. Okay, yeah, go get the person that sent you for the tome. Tell her I said thank you for letting me go look at my own books. Which I checked out and then promptly checked back in. And yeah, like I said, I guess I kind of spoiled it early, but it wasn't that big of a spoiler. It's Yayake. She's the receptionist at the Thaumaturge's Guild. Remember I mentioned in Stormblood I did a little bit of work with them when I was delivering all that mail? She's the one I worked with, mostly.
Mostly.
Finally comes full circle. I mean, yeah, I suppose. Sure. Let's have a look, shall we? I should have read of Fiends and Fairies, too. Maybe that would have helped with Eos and Selene if I had, you know, not had them. 1001 Immolation Incantations. Do you want that one? Not asking Yayake, asking Rory.
Yeah.
You want the
Sure.
book called 1001 Immolation Incantations?
Might be good.
I mean,
Pick
you
it up.
could- as long as you don't immolate yourself.
Generally, that's the goal.
Yeah, so that's basically the table of contents for the entirety of the Great Gubal Library's books. Nice. Yeah, it tells you where everything is and what's in the library. Well, good. Sounds like it'll become a place of learning again, which I'm sure Charlian would be on board for. Too bad they never did anything with it. And yeah, that would actually help Idleshire too, because then, you know, they'd have more customers that would want to come out here. I kind of actually do wish they did something with Gubal Library, especially in Endwalker, considering it has something to do with Charlian itself. Like, you'd think they'd want to do something with it, but... oh well. Thanks, Yayake. Hopefully the reconstruction efforts go well. If you need something, let me know. I can probably get some people on that. There's a person who recommended in playing Mabinogi. You think they just started. They didn't want to do the tutorials. You dropped a follow and left. Oh boy. They didn't want to do the tutorials in Mabinogi. Oh, they're writing their own death warrant there. Oh man. Alright, I'm going to go take care of this solo stuff. Like I said, hang out in Idleshire if you want, but I'll let you know when we can put you back in the crystal, because Bayako mentioned that the spell gets weaker with distance, which means if I'm going to be traveling to God knows where, I'll probably not be able to summon you.
That would just be deeply unfortunate.
Maybe I'll leave the crystal here with Tataru so she has someone to talk to while I'm gone. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now that I think about it, yeah.
I mean, that way she doesn't get in any trouble like she did with the Four Lords.
It do be like that sometimes.
Running around like a maniac.
Fair enough.
Alright, let's see if I can find a spot where there's no NPCs. I could go in the solar, but I don't remember if anybody's in the solar, to be honest. The storage area, I could use this as like a quote-unquote fitting room. I'll just stand back here. Alright, so, I need to take a seat, take a deep breath. Oh look, there's even a spot behind here. This is perfect, because now nobody will see anything except the top of my head. Minfilia is gone, the solar should be empty. Yeah, I hope so. I just don't want to walk in there and be like, Minfilia, you died in Heavensward.
It would just be a deeply unfortunate NPC placement now.
I mean, we could go look just to see if they actually bothered. I know that, I guess this, I don't think this is much of a spoiler, but I know that Urian J is still at the Waking Sands. Like, if you go there, even if he's story relevant gone, which he is at the moment, he's in a coma with everybody else. If you go back to the Waking Sands, he's still there because he's tied to the start of a bunch of quests with the EX versions. Oh, you know who's going to be in here is Anukalai, because we did the Warring Triad quest, so the office is occupied at the moment. So I'll just go over here and meditate on my old experiences. Alright, so we have 3 soul crystals to work with. I need to recall a challenging experience from the 3 of them. You remember his name? I sure do. He was actually going to be, I actually planned out a little bit of the beginning of Endwalker if we were going to do it before I played Shadowbringers, and I said, well, actually, because there's a unique quest line where you fix the void with Anukalai and Endwalker. If you do all of the role quests in Shadowbringers, all of the quests that unlock from doing all the role quests, and all of the Warring Triad EXs, there's a quest line where you basically take Anukalai to the location where Shadowbringers is, and you help him fix the void because him and somebody else are from the 13th, so... we won't be doing that quest line. It is very interesting, though. Better than you with names. It wasn't that long ago, I don't think. So they were at the mission to kill 5 brown raccoons. They sure didn't want to do it. He laughed her ass off. Oh, boy. Alright, I think we'll do Dark Knight first, because I feel like that'll come in handy for the Vivid Memory for Summoner, because I already know what the Vivid Memory is going to be for Summoner. But the Vivid Memory for Dark Knight, well... Take one look at my face. See the scar? I think you know where this is going, because I got that scar from a very particular horseback individual. And now I gotta confront him by myself. Not level synced, though. I'm gonna do it at level 70, so it shouldn't be too bad. I don't think. There's only one way to find out, though! Yeah, we have to confront Odin to unlock my Dark Knight Crystal, because as you may recall, in the hour and a half that it took us to unlock Odin, I was on Dark Knight for both of our wipes, and then I was still on Dark Knight when we beat him. He's how I got the scar. I can't get away from you. You spawn as a Fate in the Stormblood streams, you fucked me up in Heavensward, and now here we are again, Odin.
How many times do I have to teach you this lesson, old man?
Well, this is gonna be the last time, because I'm not playing games with you anymore.
These hands.
He's about to catch a few. I got, like, Biolysis and Broil 3 at the moment, so... Eos, do you need a shield? Probably not, right? You're probably okay. I'm gonna put up Change Strat now, because I'm probably gonna need it in a minute. Sure, I'll cure my slow. That's one of the reasons why I came in here on Scholar, by the way, is because I can cure the slows that he gives me, so... And I can, you know, shield against his Tank Buster, which might or might not deal damage to me. I should get away from the wall. Okay, here comes the Einherjar. I'm bleeding. I can fix that, I think. I think this is cleansable. Yeah, it is. Okay, good. Odin, if I hit you with this, will you also get hit by it? No. I should probably do something about this, though. There we go. I mean, I can probably eat these AoEs, but it's fine.
It's an AoE, and you're gonna eat it!
I almost did. Well, he's charging up. Is Chain Strap back yet? Nope. I guess I just better do a whole bunch of this. Got him. Nice work, Eos. Tell Celine I said hello, and thank you, because I'm pretty sure you two are the reason why I could keep this. Well, only one way to find out if that awakened a vivid memory, but first, I'll take that Dark Divinity Feldir that I'm not going to use, but it's there. Oh, they got wiped out by the Flood of Darkness? I guess so, yeah. Something like that. Used to have a Scars back in the Realm Reborn days, back when you're still pretty green. It's from Twintania. You ate her Tank Buster and Realm Reborn gear, the old I-110 stuff with no cooldowns because you were out. Ouch! And you had no shield because the Scholar was new to healing. Yeah, that doesn't sound fun. I'm glad you live, but it doesn't sound fun. You dote on your Fae friends, you love them. Yeah, that's fair. They do a lot for me, so, you know, it's all the same, I might as well. Alright, now we get to show off the new glamours that I got. And like I said, 2 out of the 3 we'll see today. One of them is the new Dark Knight glamour. So let me put this on and then immediately put my pants on. Because I kind of am naked otherwise. Alright, so Tadaru and I had an idea. Because the doctors told me that lifting 600 pounds of armor every time I worked on Dark Knight was not such a good idea. So Tadaru and I put our heads together, and we figured out that there are materials out there that are lighter and stronger than the titanium armor that I was relying on back in Realm Reborn, Heavensward, and Stormblood. Turns out molybdenum is a pretty fucking good alloy. It's both lighter than titanium, stronger than titanium, and longer lasting. So we made a whole outfit out of it, and this is what it looks like. What am I missing? Gloves. And boots. Take it out in the light so everybody can see it. Actually, I'm just going to do this. Hold on. Let me just, since I've got that all on now, let me just put on the other accessories and stuff. You've probably seen this one if you, I think I showed this one off on the Discord server at one point. But I'm a really big fan of this armor. It makes me look so fucking buff because of the shoulder pads, even though I'm definitely not buff, but it's really cool. I really enjoy it. I think somebody said it kind of looks a little bit like a Siegfried from Soul Calibur-esque type of a thing. So yeah, I'm real happy with it. It looks real good. Nice armor, thanks. It looks real good. But yeah, like look at how buff I look like I am with the. It's kind of hard to see outside of the light, but yeah, I look so much more buff with the armor on than I did because of all the padding and stuff that's on it. So yeah, the shoulder pads do make me look buff. Yeah, like Radiant Dawn Ike. Yeah, he looked jacked. Oh my god. Yeah. So it's the same idea. But it looks like my my crystal is back intact. I can reestablish my connection with it. Thank God for that photographic memory, right? But yeah, so this is the new Dark Knight glamour that I'll be wearing. We have one more new glamour to introduce, and it's a good thing I took care of Dark Knight first, because I have a feeling I was going to need it in order to be able to tank the damage from the Vivid Memory for Summoner, because well, when you think of Summoner, and you think of Vivid Memories, there's only one fight that comes to mind. Here we go. Boy, I hope my TBN game is on point, because I'm going to need it. Hey, big guy. Long time no see. It's always been you and me, hasn't it? Ever since I unlocked Dreadworm Trance. Well, we're not about to end it. This is a new beginning for you and for me. So let's see what you can do, and let's see if I can handle it. Gonna fist bump me? No, he's gonna chest bump me. Okay, that's not a chest bump. I'll know when he's gonna chest bump me though, because it's gonna whatchamacallit. I'm gonna save my cooldowns because most of this stuff I can just get back with Soul Eater, but once he busts out, well, that'll be one thing that I should probably use. I probably should just use a TBN to be fair, but yeah, most of his attacks I can tank. Some of them I definitely can't, even in this gear. That's fine. I can handle that. Oh, the Shadow of Maricidia. Do you die to one? You do. Okay, here is where we're going to need to have our TBN game on point. Because I can take like one or two of these. I can't take most of them, though. Okay, so we TBN, and then we pop the Flare Stars. And then I'm going to sprint so that my TBN stays up for one more of them. Okay, there we go. It's going to flatten me now. I'm going to wait for my TBN to come back. Okay, now we use it again. Okay. But yeah, you see how much damage those do without TBN? Like, holy shit, man. I should get some MP back. I'm going to need it for, like, right now. Ow. Let me reprisal him real quick. Hey, Amarella, how's it going? Yeah, percentage damage, yeah, that's probably what it is. TBN seems to mitigate it, though, so that's kind of nice. Yeah, at not level 80? Damn, have fun. Yeah, I know. Alright, we'll let him knock me. I'm gonna go over here a little bit. Okay. Run the hell away from all of that. It's too bad I don't have second wind, but I'll get my HP back. It's fine. That's true, TBN is percent shielding, so that's probably why it does all of that, you know. That's a good point. Well, I can get my HP back this way from soul eating, so. And there goes his stone skin. Is that all you've got, Bahamut? I know you can do better than that. Actually, I was trying to hit that one, but okay. Come here, you. Eh. Look at that 18,000 or 12,000 HP that I got back there. I mean, to be fair, I have Epic Echo, so this isn't really a question of whether or not to do this. I'll be able to do it. It's just knowing what I can and can't eat. I probably shouldn't have Edge of Shadow there because I could have gotten one more Soul Eater in. Oh well. I'm at 120,000 HP, I'll be fine. Bahamut, you can only hide for so long. There you are. I will munch this. I think you can actually dodge it, to be honest. But I wanted to dodge it that way. Basically, let him push me out of the way of Twintania. So. You tried to do T9 once in PF at minimum eye level. We didn't make it. Oh boy. I can imagine. It sounds like it would not work out too well. No plummeting.
Do not fall on my head.
I could go in the flare dampener. I'm not sure if I should, though. Like, I wonder if I can tank it without it. Probably, right? But should we test? Or is that a bad idea? Is that a Jimmy idea, or is that a good idea?
There's no such thing as bad ideas, just not very well thought out good ones.
Hmm. Got to dive bombs, you think, and no one knew how to mark, and it's been so long that you don't remember how to mark them. Oh, jeez, yeah. Let's see if I can get a little blood weapon out of this guy. He's a blood spiller, too. That'll give me a little more. Oh, never mind. Gives me the same. It's okay, though. This is probably one of the last times we'll hear Susan Calloway. Unfortunately. Where's Twintania? Ugh. Are we having fun yet, Bahamut? Well, that answers that question. I'm gonna stand out of the dampener. TVN, Dark Mind. I think that's enough. Yes, it is. Ow! That did 50k through my TBN. Alright, Bahamut.
Bahamut's fucking pissed!
Let's finish this. Akmorn, huh? Yeah, I can handle that.
One, two...
He only did it twice, I think. Unless I was miscounting.
I'm thinking of different Akmorns. Ones that hit 5 times instead of 2.
Yeah. I have a tether. I forget what the tether does. Oh no, this is the thing where he spits out the, whatchamacallits, isn't it? No, that's Tempest Wing. Okay. I thought he spit out the floor pattern things, so... I think that's in a minute. Unless I'm thinking of, like, Ukab, which is possible. No, this is... Oh, this is Earthshakers, never mind. There it is. There's the stuff. He spits out this stuff a bunch, and it leaves a puddle. So then you just can't stand there. It's okay, though. Should I, like, wait and let Susan Calloway finish? Like, just do this with auto attacks now? I could do that. TVM. Oh, look, you actually popped it that time. Okay, Bahamut, I'm bored now. Goodbye. Out of a bind, too. What the hell does that do?
I guess you could say you pulled your summoner crystal out of a bind.
Something like that. Complete the final coil of Bahamut 5 times. There's an achievement for that. That's funny.
Cac W.
Let's see what Dreadworm gear I get. Yeah, that's why you get the flare dampening. Yep. Yeah, I know. I just decided not to use it. I got a gun and a couple of Neo Ether Stones and chest and weapon gear coffer for Dreadworm. That's cool. Yeah, no music scroll, unfortunately. I did get a gun. What does a gun even look like? Dreadworm handgun. Ooh, is this a pistol? No, it's definitely not. I mean, it's a pistol for a giant.
Jesus!
Christ, man. Alright, then.
It looks
well,
like the final
fun.
evolution of a main protagonist weapon. When you
Yeah.
can shoot a hole in reality and step through time to change fate.
Yeah, something like that. Alright, so let's see if that tapped into the memories of the Summoner Soul Crystal. And we can show off the other... My camera was going crazy there for a second. We can show off the other new glamour, 2 out of 3 here. I'll do it the same way I did it with, whatchamacallit. Which one is my... See, I get these confused now because the red book I would think would be Summoner, but actually the white book is Summoner and the red book is Scholar now, so... But anyway, let's pop this on. Let's see if I can remember which ones are my pants. It's these ones. There we go. Okay. As for this one, well, if you've been around the channel for a little while, you've probably seen this one coming. It's actually kind of funny that I didn't do this beforehand, but I needed the Scholasticate coat for this one. Because it looks really solid with the rest of this stuff. I also didn't want to play Summoner before this because Summoner has changed so much in the interim between Shadowbringers and Endwalker. I figured it'd be better to just wait to use it until I did this whole little story bit where I re-tapped into my soul crystals. So, but I can put on the hat and that'll pretty much tell you where this is going. Yeah, it's a Plague Doctor glamour. With the Scholastica coat. And red gloves. And then the boots. And yeah, I kind of need the Soul Crystal in order for this all to work. As a matter of fact, why don't I just do this? There, now I've got all my accessories on easier. So let's go look at it in the light, shall we? Yeah, I mean, it's pretty bog standard Plague Doctor stuff. I have a book for my summoner stuff that is written in Hingen, actually, which will help me because that'll force me to think on my feet with summoner, to think about, okay, so this is how I do summoner stuff in different languages. So I could have gotten the Halloween coat, but I looked at it and it didn't look as good as the Scholastica coat with this. I don't think, if I remember right, it wasn't as billowy. The nice thing about this one is that the bottom flaps of this coat are really billowy, so like when you're doing your casts, it's it flies in the wind pretty good. So okay, well, that's 2 out of 3. I know what the vivid experience would be with the Samurai Crystal, though, and, well...
Oh boy, here we go again.
Yeah, this ain't happening. There's no possible way that... Okay, no, hang on, wait, I should say that I should clarify on this. There is a possible way for me to solo this right now at level 70 in level 70 gear. It requires Blue Mage. The fight takes half an hour, and it's not even guaranteed. So, Samurai is going to stay locked for a little while. Because, yeah, I'm not getting stepped on. Not again. Goodbye, Tsukiyomi. Need to show you your Plague Doctor outfit? Yeah, there we go. That'd be cool. It's as billowy, but it's a lot more of a... Or not as billowy, but it's a lot more of a traveling Plague Doctor vibe. Yeah, so that's fair. I don't know, I kind of just liked the look of this one in the Rust Red with the helmet, honestly, because the helmet, you can't dye the hat there. I would prefer if it was a hood, to be fair, but I'll use what I've got. But the Rust Red here, it looked pretty good with the red. Basically, black is the primary color, and then the Rust Red ascot and the rest of the reds, so... Not again. When did it happen last time? Actually, I think on screen I did not get stepped on. I think it... Cole, were you on Gunbreaker for the Tsukiyomi fight? Do you remember?
I recall that I was.
Okay. So Cole was the one that got stepped on. He got turned into mashed potatoes.
Again.
But Summoner has changed, and since I'm not going to be using Samurai, let's go make sure that I actually know what I'm doing with Summoner. Where's a high enough level... striking dummy so I can show you how brain dead the rotation is. I go back to the Asm Step, actually. Oh, there's a lot of people here. There's one, actually, I like this one because there's one near Namai as well, but once the sun starts setting in Namai, you just can't see shit over there because of the moon gate being in the way and all the mountains. The one in Reunion, it's over to the northeast of the town, you can actually see things a little bit better because it's out in the open, so I like going to this one better than the one in Namai. So. Plus, it lets me show off the Summoner Glamour before we get to the first dungeon of Shadowbringers, which I might be playing Summoner for that one. I'm not sure yet. I think I will, but you know. But here's the striking dummies over here. So, getting distracted. Gonna wash dishes. All right, Marie. Sounds like a plan. Go get those dishes done so they're out of your hair. So. Well, the first thing we need to know about New Summoner is that I can summon Carbuncle again. Hi, buddy. Haven't seen you in a while. Have a pet. You don't react to pet the way that Interceptor reacts to pet. Because when I pet Interceptor, he flop.
He flop.
Yes, that. Okay. We put this Soul Crystal through its paces and see if I can get the swing of it. Bahamut!
If you would be so kind as to remove them.
get Ifrit going. Yeah, so now you actually summon each of the summons individually. Titan, and they use their ultimate attack. Now you get a certain number of charges for each one, so Ifrit gets 2, Titan gets 4, and then Garuda gets 4, but you want to Lucid Garudas because otherwise you'll run out of MP. So, Garudas is also really fast. But that's basically the gist of the rotation. You Searing Light, and then you get in all your Bahamut stuff and your Ifrit spells before Searing Light runs out. And then the rest is mostly just filler until you get back to Bahamut phase again. It deals buttloads of damage though. Like I'll just show you how much. Let's summon Bahamut again so I can show you here. Just do the rotation again. Do that. 3 and 4. This. So Akmorn deals 15,000 on a direct hit. And that wasn't even a crit. I think it hits for like 20k on a direct crit. So yeah, I will accidentally pull aggro off of Cole if he's tanking a dungeon at some point because of Akmorn. So Cole, be aware of that.
You're tanking.
Yeah, I know.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
On your DC by default, gotta head to Goblin to come say hi. Sounds like a plan, Amarella. Head to Mordona, actually, because that's where I'm going next, because we have done everything that I need to do before I finally move on with the plot and actually begin Shadowbringers. So I will say hi to you in Mordona if you want to come that way. And then off we'll go. We'll head into the actual expansion that I have listed on the tin here. I'll actually play the game that I've said I'm playing now.
Oh, finally.
So that means that next week it'll be all story stuff.
We can only hope it will be all story stuff.
Well, let me look at my notes and actually see what we're doing there. It's all story stuff until after the first dungeon of Shadowbringers, and then after that it's like role quests, one of the dungeons we forgot from Heaven's Ward, and then we immediately keep going with the story. So like it's going to be a lot of story stuff before we really start to take breaks. Like not until after the second major area will we be taking breaks. So I'll sit at this table.
I'm excited for a reason that I cannot elaborate on.
That you can elaborate on starting next week. I'll sit at this table for you, Amarella. So come on over and say hi. You actually just nudged your healer glam a bit since last time? Okay, nice. Check it out. My healer glam is actually one of the ones that I haven't adjusted for this X pack. That's cool. Let me see what we've got here. So is that, it kind of looks like the Bright Linen Cyclist, if I recall correctly. It's been a little while since I've seen the Bright Linens. I mean, I guess I could just examine and find out, so. It is, okay, cool. Yeah, it's nice, I like that one. It's not really my look, but you could definitely make a cool glamour out of it, so. Let's see, Sky Pirate's Mask. Okay, that's cool. I guess I could try these on and see what they look like on me, to be fair. Hang on, let me do that. So there's the Sky Pirate's Mask. Let me click this. I should put some pants on. There.
That would certainly help.
Always put some pants on. Yeah, I like that. That looks cool. Again, not really my scene. I have a certain aesthetic that I keep up, but again, it's definitely cool. It definitely has that sort of like a it's kind of like a battle-hardened, like on the front line sort of a healer, you know what I mean? Like this is the kind of person that I would see being like at the Gimlet Dark while all of the stuff is going on, so. I'll definitely catch your aesthetic if you swap classes. Oh, there you go. Well, sure. If you want, feel free. That's up to you. You probably have a few more classes leveled than I do, so we'll get a good clean view. And yeah, I can actually kind of see it already because the coat of arms on your belt on this one is very similar to the coat of arms on the Bright Linen Cyclist. So yeah, I can get it. It does have that front lines, again, it's that front lines-esque look to it, where it's like, you know, you expect to see this kind of a person in the infantry with the rest of the soldiers, maybe as like a captain of some kind. So I get a more relaxed vibe from this one, although this one kind of like, I don't know, I think that's your monk glamour, maybe? Judging by the lack of weapons that I see. Yeah, monk and samurai, yeah, there you go. Yeah, that one looks more relaxed, but it has that sort of aesthetic that you would expect to see from a monk or a samurai, where it's more of like a, kind of like a traveler's set, you know what I mean? So it's got that effect to it. It's good. I like it. This one, okay, that's your Dragoon glamour, I was going to say. It's got more heavy armor, but it still has that sort of traveler's effect. I think the chest piece in a lot of cases really makes the difference in terms of whether it comes off as more heavily armored or more of like a lighter traveling outfit, you know? And in this case with Dragoon, it's got that effect because the chest piece is more of like a leathery and like maybe even a little woolen sort of stuff to it, so... I like it. Interceptor, get off the table. I can't see Amarella's glamours. Not itch. Off the table, please. Thank you. He's always getting in trouble these streams. He must be going through his teenage growth phase. Yeah, that's true. They're also more agile fighters, so too much heavy armor just weighs down. Yeah, that's fair, too. And, I mean, considering you're jumping like 50 feet in the air 3 or 4 times every 60 seconds with Dragoon, yeah, you'll probably want to be a little lighter. It's not like you're an Ishgardian Lancer or something where it's like you won't be, you know. Ninja glamour. I see that on the side there. Those almost look like the knives that I have for my ninja glamour, actually, although I think those are a different type of glamour, because mine, I think, are Storm Officer's knives, so they're a little different, but kind of a similar aesthetic, actually. You've got the blue, while mine have the red. There's the range DPS glamour. This one, I can definitely see this one, because this is like it definitely gives off like a machinist type of a vibe to me, just looking at the way you dressed and everything like that. It's kind of got that Sky Pirates effect to it, you know? So, machinist dancer, subtle glove shift for Bard. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so there's the dancer one. I do like those chakrams for the dancer, the ones that look like shurikens. Those are pretty good. Yeah, I see the glove difference there. So, let me get a side view. Sorry. Yeah, okay, so it's like almost armored gloves a little bit, so that you don't get like hit in the wrist or something while you're knocking an arrow. That makes sense. Archer Techo gloves? Okay, gotcha. That's cool. I like them. They are very good. Yeah, and guard the fingers from the string in the wrist, yep. That makes sense too, because you don't want them to like, you know, accidentally bounce back or something. That wouldn't be good. This is Caster Glam, it looks like. Black Mage, maybe? I think that's I mean, I guess I can look if I just do this and turn you around. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's Black Mage Glamour. So. And I do like, I like kind of with my casters to still have a little bit of an armory look to them as well, because, I mean, you're going on the front lines. It's all the same to have a little cloth and leather, but, like, if the healer goes down and the healer doesn't have the armor to, you know, actually maintain being alive on the battlefield, it doesn't really do anybody any good, you know? So I like the little armor in mine, but, I mean, you can tell that just from the Scholar Glamour that I've had for a while. Like, it's got that sort of lightly armored effect to it, so... All your pieces have armor that's subtle. Yeah, that makes sense. So it's not like too in your face about it, you know, but it's there as a protection measure. So yeah, it's a robe over scale mail and chain mail if you look close. Yeah, maybe I should have done this in a place with better lighting so we could actually like see that. But yeah, I guess you can see it from the side kind of where you yeah, see, like you can see the chain mail in there. So that's cool. I like the ferret too. That's nice. I think it's a ferret. Yes, they all look very good. I approve. I think you did a good job on them. Snow, that's the name of the ferret. Nice. Hello, Snoo. And there's the Dark Knight Glamour. Oh, did you see the Dark Knight? You were here when I was fighting Bahamut, so you've seen the new Dark Knight Glamour. Hang on, let me take a drink before I swap over. Yeah, they do all have glammed out weapons. Yes, ones that match very nicely. I see. Of course, I'm going to whip this around in an establishment like this. I'm probably going to hit too many people in the head rather than just placing it in the ground. But those are cool, Amarella. I do like those glamours. Those are very well done. If you want my honest opinion, I don't know if I'm the best at glamour making. I mean, I've done okay for myself, but I don't think I'm going to be like on the front page of the Eorzea collection or anything. But I think that you did pretty good with them. Can't resist a good proper Sviander like this for Dark Knight. Yeah, no, it makes sense. I've always used more of like a broadsword myself, so I guess it's more of a paddle if we're being honest. But yeah, as Sviander, it actually makes a lot of sense because like there are a lot of like, I mean, you do some slashing attacks, but Soul Eater is the end of your combo, and it's a thrusting attack. So having something that you can actually thrust, it makes a lot of sense. So, all right, I am going to head into the Rising Stones now and pick up the quest so we can head on into Shadowbringers. Oh yeah, did I not have you on my friends list? That's surprising. I didn't expect that. I thought I had you on my... Oh, I have your other one on my friends list. That's why. Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize. Not on this character. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, I have one of your older ones. Yep. Okay. I was confused for a second, but that's okay. No big deal. Have fun. Thank you. Appreciate that. That's your main. You don't think you'll ever swap again? All right. Well, sounds like a plan. Maybe we'll see you further down the road. If you decide to do any dungeons with us, I would be welcome to it. Feel free. Just let me know. And we'll go from there. When's the next dungeon that we're doing on this stream, though? There's going to be a lot of story stuff after this. We kind of front-loaded a whole bunch of dungeons with the Four Lords and everything in Gooball hard mode. The next dungeon is the first dungeon in Shadowbringers, and that's going to be probably a few episodes because it's going to take a little bit to get that far, so... Okay, Cole, are you still here to commemorate me finally starting with the story?
Only took you an eternity and a half, but yes.
Yeah, rather than 2 eternities like it did in Stormblood. Tadaru has good news for me. What's the good news, Tadaru? I should have taken my mask off first. It's okay, she probably wants to take a look at it and make sure it all came together well, too. Oh, did you? So I'm guessing we didn't know that was there before. Excuse me. Yeah, fair enough. They do kind of have all the heavy-duty equipment. Okay, well, I'd be willing to lend a hand. Yeah, sounds like we better go give them a hand. This beacon won't wait around forever. And once I get there, I have a pretty good reasons to give the person who was doing that ritual in my head a piece of my mind.
Again?
Again. True. As long as they're there, and it's not like they got whisked away somewhere else. Sounds like we need to get going then, Tadaru. Okay, I'll meet you at the boat then. Let me get the new quest accepted and quest completed stuff since this is a new X-Pack. Alright, everybody. I'll be back, ideally with our friends in tow. Hold down the fort. If anything happens with the Empire, let my retainers know, because I'm sure they'll be able to help out. Hopefully I'll be able to help out too, but we'll see what happens. Take care of yourselves. I shouldn't be very long. He says with 100 quests ahead of him before the end of this X-Pack.
I shouldn't be that long a year later.
Yeah. Alright, Quinfucius. We'll let you fly me out to this thing, because you haven't done a whole lot since before. Oh, he finished his catching up, by the way, with St. Quethrin, but he also had something else that he was attempting to do off-screen. And he says it also has something to do with this beacon, so I don't know what that means, but something tells me, unless I can, like, do what I do when I aetherite travel, where I can just kind of, like, instant transmission Confucius and Interceptor with me, something tells me this is going to be where we part ways for a little while, which is unfortunate for me, but, you know, I guess I'll say my goodbyes now. Confucius, we'll do you first because I can just summon you like this. Alright, buddy, it's been you and me for a while. I don't know if you're going to be able to come to the other side with me here. I'm going to have to ask our summoner after I'm done reaming him out for all the stuff that he's done, but take care of things around here. If the Empire gets rowdy, just go drop a few Choco Meteors on them, and I'm sure they'll, you know, have a rest there. Oh, and take care of Interceptor, too, because he's going to be with you until we figure out some way to get you guys to the other side, because I don't really know what that is just yet. All right, buddy? Take care of yourself. I'll be back. As for you, Interceptor, you have been reveling in giving people trouble lately, which is good, because I'm going to need you to stick by Confucius and give the Empire trouble, okay? It's you and me, buddy. It's always you and me. I'll find a way to get you to the other side at some point here, but until then, you take care of yourself, okay? Good boy. Well, it's just me and Eos and Celine now. Boy, I hope I can summon them on the other side. I don't even know what to expect doing this. Maybe I should put on my best armor in case this is a particularly painful trip. Heading to the survey site. Don't know if it's such a good idea to be looking for this stuff in full plate armor, but, you know. Answer your semi-question about assuming you have things leveled. You have everything at least at 81, with all casters at 90, machinist at 90, monk, samurai at 90, and dark knight at 90. Okay, cool. Then yeah, you're definitely in good shape. You'll be able to do every single one of the dungeons that we'll be doing this X-Pack, because none of them will go above 80 for us, and I think there's still a decent chunk of 60 and 70 gear. Or 60 and 70 dungeons we'll be doing, so I will let you know. Alright, Tataru. Ignoring the fact that I feel like I just lost 2 limbs because I have to leave Interceptor and Confucius behind. Potentially. What's the sit rep? No, they definitely got a good turnout, that's for sure. All the Scions came out. I don't know where Rambrose is, but he's probably around somewhere.
Look how many people there are.
That's what I'm saying.
Should we get to it then? Pick up anything that seems the least bit device-like, and we'll make ourselves a pile.
Are you sure I'm going to know what a device looks like? I'm not exactly technologically inclined here. I guess I'll just pick up anything that looks unfamiliar.
Maybe you'll change our look. We found
What could possibly go wrong with that kind of nut?
Hey, Biggs, Wedge, what's going on?
Big
Boys.
Wah, wah. The power trip that is 90 Summoner is wild. Yeah, I've heard.
We could hardly say no to a call for aid from the Scions.
Well, we appreciate you guys coming out.
Jesse called the chief for some other business.
Oh.
So we'll be working twice as hard to make up for his not being here.
I wonder what other business he could be getting up to. I wonder if we'll get up to that business later.
Given our luck, probably.
Most likely.
Thank you, both of you. I'm sure we'll find that beacon in no time.
Hopefully. Ready, gang? Let's spread out and look for clues. Oh, Tataru, here, take this rhodonite because this is Rory's auspice crystal. If anything bad happens, just tell her to inner-release or something. I don't know.
Out here.
Maybe it's buried under the rubble?
In there, Wedge.
And get stuck halfway? No, thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I could try if you like.
Oh boy.
Tataru, no! We couldn't ask you to do that.
Oh, I'll be fine. This receptionist is not afraid to get her hands dirty.
She would know about that, considering what happened with Soroban a few episodes ago. Oh, I think I see something. Or was it merely a trick of the light? No, definitely an unfamiliar thingy.
Sorry,
some
I
kind of
meant to
gear.
say, the scholars haven't finished their preliminary assessment of the site yet, so we're not supposed to venture too far in.
How do we know that the thing that we're looking for isn't too far in, though? Are we going to get into another dungeon?
What's that you got there?
You know, now that I think about it, the insignia on it looks awfully familiar.
Now that looks promising.
It's the Ironworks logo. Huh. How'd that get there?
Isn't that the Ironworks symbol? Counterfeiters?
Unless our summoner knows a particular type of Ironworks people? Okay!
Now I have you.
Not good. Maybe good. Kind of.
What's happening?
Massive headache. Not dying. I think I'm going places.
Stay with me. Focus on my voice.
Oh, trust me, I can't get it out of my head even if I wanted to.
Contract. Eon become instant.
This had better work, or I'm gonna throw up in my new armor.
It. The device. Oh, this
I don't want to ruin this new armor.
I don't have room to throw up in my new armor.
Gates that we may pass.
What do you mean we? It's just me!
journey, warrior of light. Find our friends and bring them home.
I'll try, Tataru. Oh, good. The empty space between worlds, I assume. It almost looks like the Mother Crystals area. It's a good thing I'm wearing armor. I don't know if I can breathe here. Now where am I supposed to go, though? Well, I guess I'll just start flying. I'm surprised there's a lack of gravity here. Maybe they're pulling me. Are we sure that I'm going to a new place?
Do not look at me so.
Or is this just like supposed to be the place that I go to make myself sad? Well, I'll tell you what, it's not gonna work.
We did everything right.
Oh, that looks familiar.
Everything that was asked of us, and still it came to this.
Whoa. Damn. Well, maybe I'll find more familiar faces as we go. No, that looks really familiar. I know that body. She's wearing a different outfit, though. One that doesn't cost money on the Mog station. I don't think you could buy this one anyway.
Has not yet come.
So are you sending me somewhere else, or was that meant for someone else? I'm gonna need to get the color back in my life real quick. Oh wait, I'm not here yet. This is a flashback. I think. Unless my eyes are just getting adjusted to the light. Well, if that is who I think it is, he's seen better days. Well. What's with the static on this line? Do I need to adjust the satellite dish? Well, that was the strangest echo vision I've ever had. But with that being said, this is not Mordona. Good. Great. We're not in Kansas anymore. Eh.
Welcome to the purple expansion.
Yeah, I wish it wasn't so vibrant. Maybe my head wouldn't hurt as much. No, that's just the trip in between. And also the sun. Like, what the hell is up with the sun? Feels like if I take this armor off, it's gonna burn me. Ugh, I need some water or something. All I got from all this was a rotten headache.
Something vague, yet urgent, calls me to action once more.
Gee, I wonder what that could be. Well, there are still birds here, and plants and trees at the very least, so it's not that unfamiliar. I think I see a chocobo. Maybe Confucius can get here after all. Yeah, that is a chocobo. And a person. What I mean? Why is it so fucking bright out? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe this nice traveler with a chocobo will be able to tell me why it's so bright out. Hello, sir. Sorry to bug you. Where, am I exactly?
To meet someone out here is not a peddler themselves. What brings you into the wilds this time of night?
This time of night? Does the moon work differently in this dimension? What do you mean this time of night?
Well, if it ain't the oldest joke in the book. Grandad, God's rest his soul, used to tell that one to the barman at kicking out time.
I feel like I'm missing some context here.
And when, pray tell, did we last have a dark night? You rotten old drunk yet, he'd reply.
So do you guys live on the North Pole or something? Is there perpetual sunlight here? I guess even the North Pole eventually gets moonlight, but...
Over 100 bleeding years ago, that's when...
Yeah, that's not North Pole. That's a fundamentally different problem. I'm surprised the ecosystem is still intact, honestly. That's probably why these trees are so big. All that photosynthesizing.
Down to a T. I'd almost think you meant it.
It's funny you can discern that from beneath 200 pounds of armor.
Got to you, did they? Poor beggar. That explains it then.
What? No, I'm okay. Sorry. Not big for drink. I have water.
Well, I've roads to travel and wares to sell. But you best hurry along to the town nearby.
Okay. Hey, buddy. Off on the road again, huh?
Through the trees and aim for the Shining Tower.
Shining Tower?
You'll find the place soon enough. 'Tis the biggest settlement for malms around.
Well, thanks for the info. Appreciate it.
Go
Maybe
on
we'll,
now, friend. They'll take good care of you in the Crystarium.
Okay, thanks. Maybe we'll see each other on the road again. I can buy some of your wares. It's the least I could do. Until then, take care of yourself. The Crystarium, huh? And what, pray tell, would the Crystarium look like? I suppose the better question on everyone's thought process is...
The gleaming spire. Its tips threatening to pierce the blinding canopy.
Why is the Crystal Tower here? He mentioned the first,
There,
the guy that summoned
it will
us.
all begin anew. Between dark and light. The pure and the corrupt. The one true struggle.
So if by the first he means a shard, like the shards of the first, maybe this is the first version of the Crystal Tower. We're going to find out all that and more in Shadowbringers. How is this here? Are we in Mordona? Plant Kingdom, rise up. He said head east. We'll walk east. Thank you very much. And I think I'll put the ninja gear on now that I know I'm not, like, going into the Leviathan DLC from Mass Effect 3. You like that merchant in FF12 that you can find throughout the game? Yeah, his wares were pretty good, so yeah, that guy. I feel like that'd be kind of interesting if they had like a recurring merchant like that, but I don't think they do. I think most of the merchants are pretty much, they stick where they are in this game. So. How is this here? Are we in Mordona? Well, that is the question. And at the moment, I don't have an answer for you. So we'll see. That's true. Rowena is kind of like a traveling merchant because she's got all the collectibles that, you know, like all the collectibles appraisers and the scripts exchange people. And Geralt, yeah, that's true too, if you've done any of the weapon quests, which I haven't, but that's a different story. I guess what I meant when I said traveling merchants is more like it's the same character. Like in a lot of Rowena's cases, like you see her during the weapon quests. I guess what I was thinking was more like he doesn't necessarily have a lot of character development, or they don't have necessarily a lot of character development, but they just sort of like, you see them in multiple different locations throughout the game and they sell you stuff. In Rowena's case, it's kind of like that, but she has like people that sell you stuff rather than her herself, you know. So I think his name was Dice. Saw him in Valfenheim and immediately fangirl. Was so excited to see him again. Hello. I was told to seek this place out by a traveling merchant.
Every face in this city I know. Yours, I do not.
That's true, because I haven't been here before.
This is the threshold of the Crystarium, stranger, and I am its gatekeeper. If you would enter, you will answer my questions.
Okay. What is your name, what is your quest, and what is your favorite color, right? Those are the questions 3?
From where do you hail?
God, this isn't going to make any sense to her. Let's just say the name of a town and hope that she buys it. Olda. Not technically where I hail from, but that's the closest place that might be here.
Do you take me for a fool? No such place exists.
It does, just outside of your purview.
Had you given me an honest answer, I would not have barred your way. We care little here for a person's place of origin, but instead, you chose concealment. And I will not suffer you to pass.
As the person who said the sentence, I don't understand how you got concealment out of that, because I didn't say it with concealment, but, okay. Never mind. Thought she was gonna kill me. Thanks for the save. You could have just told me that a winged beast was about to kill me. Hi, your ears are large, ma'am. Being the first time here. Yeah, they gotta add all the Vera NPCs in because they added female Vera into Shadowbringers. And male Hrothgar, so we're gonna be seeing a lot more of them. A ring? Huh. Why does that look familiar? Oh, that's why that looks familiar. Man, that guy didn't even last 5 minutes! His source counterpart lasted a hell of a lot longer. I'm starting to put the pieces together. Sucks for that guy, though.
Everything all right, Captain?
I know that voice. You.
Quite all right, my lord. Just a stray sin eater, and a weak one at that.
She killed it in one GCD.
I see. Weak or not, we should be on the lookout for more.
What are you smiling at?
I will escort him to the Crystarium myself, if you've no objections.
Oh, maybe that's what he's smiling at.
Another of your mysterious friends, is it? I should have known.
Oh, so you've done this before. Well, I guess that means I'm in the right place.
I'll inform the others your guest is to be given the run of the city.
Uh-huh.
Pray forgive my less than cordial welcome. May the rest of your stay with us be a pleasant one.
Nah, no hard feelings. Sounds like you guys have got a lot of trouble at the gates, so can't be too careful.
Come with me. I will answer whatever questions you have when we are somewhere more private.
That's good, because I have a lot of them. That's how you felt going into this. Kind of can't feel bad. He had like 3 minutes of screen time. I don't know. I guess I'm still playing the game. I'm still method acting after the Requiem for Heroes dream sequence.
The wheres and wherefores, let me first thank you for answering my summons.
Well, you didn't exactly make it out for me to have a choice, did you?
I had intended to bring you directly to my personal quarters, but I fear my aim was slightly off. That you were still able to make the crossing unharmed is a great relief.
Listen, man, we knew your aim was slightly off when you accidentally spirited 6 of my friends over here. 5? I don't even remember at this point. I've lost count.
And so, we come to the question of where. The realm in which you now find yourself belongs to one of the 13 reflections, or shards. The first, to be precise, even if its inhabitants are largely oblivious to the fact.
I'm going to guess that interdimensional rift travel hasn't been invented yet here.
As to wherefore, having been awarded the rather grandiose title of Crystal Exarch, I, in my capacity as caretaker of the Crystarium, thought to seek the aid of you and your companions.
Why? What was this problem that led me to you? Other than the weird light thing, it doesn't look too bad out here, other than the fact that, you know, the sun seems to be getting more radioactive by the day. Do you have any idea how much trouble you've caused by doing all of this shit? That is a fair assessment, actually.
An inkling, yes. I can only beg your forgiveness. Matters here forced my hand. But all shall be explained in due course, I promise you.
Well, that's good, because I'll be the judge of whether the matters here forced your hand or if you just didn't get off your ass.
Let us begin with the glaring skies up above.
Yeah, the radioactive sun seems like a problem.
Here in the first, the world has been all but consumed by primordial light.
Like the ether light, you mean? So it's aspected here.
Ago, by this realm's reckoning. A luminous flood swallowing everything in its path. More than 9/10 of this star was lost.
Holy shit. I can see the need for urgency from
Few
that.
Survived, are hounded by abominations born of that catastrophe even now.
Aha.
Sin eaters, we call them. The creature you saw earlier was one such monstrosity.
And it eats people?
It was to save the first from this menace that I learned to bridge the rift between worlds. That I might call upon the aid of the greatest of heroes.
Aha. And who might that be?
Though it meant depriving a world of its champion, I had to try. For in saving the first, you would bring salvation to the source as well.
Oh, you think I'm the world's greatest shit? You do know that I retired from that role like twice, right? I'm rusty as fuck. Even though I did kind of beat an Elderasian's ass when he Captain Ginyu'd someone's
What
body.
manner of host harangues his guests in the middle of the road? Let us continue our talk within the Crystarium.
It's good, because I could use a little water. Hopefully you guys have mineral water here. If you don't, I guess I'm going to be going back. I hope. Well, I'm still not really on the up and up with this guy, but I do sense the need for urgency from the fact that 90% of this star was lost. That is fairly urgent, yes. So let's see where the last bastion of humanity is. Nice greenhouse. Oh, never mind. It's not a greenhouse. It's just a glass fixture.
Such a proud and vibrant city. The sole sanctuary for the living in a world all but resigned to oblivion.
Well, that's not very hopeful of them.
Each stone was laid with hope. The town itself a symbol. A monument to defiance in the face of death.
Good. Be defiant in the face of death. Death
No
sucks.
would-be hero could fail to answer its call. For who among us does not yearn for salvation?
I see some Amaro. Or not Amaro, Amalja. I do see some Amaro, but I wouldn't know what they're called in character yet. I meant to say Amalja, but Freudian slip. Urion J, stop narrating. Get the fuck out of here. Thought that instead of thinking it when you got here. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Although, I don't know that that was Urion J's voice. Okay, host. Tell me what I need to know about this place. The Crystarium. And what is this request you have of me, even though I just got here? Yeah, that would be nice, so I can ask you all of the questions and also, you know, riddle you with mind bullets for doing what you did. Okay. Sure. That's fair. Don't think it is, but you instantly thought of his voice. Yeah, no, that's fair. Well, they still have aetheryte crystals here, it looks like. Oh, okay. I kind of felt like there was a vague connection there, but I wasn't 100% sure, so I guess I can return to the source if I need to. And I will need to be fair. There's plenty of things still to do there, and I can keep apprised of the situation there, so... Okay, so you guys do have a collective of crafters and gatherers here. That's good. I want to check that out in case I want to use some of my talents on that. And I probably, considering this is a world where, you know, 90% of it is destroyed or, you know, dead, I don't want to be going and gathering something and causing its extinction. You know, that wouldn't be good. You didn't talk to him and just explore when he got out of the cutscene. The aetheryte's locked until you talk to him. Oops, oh jeez. Oh boy. See, I always talk to him, so I didn't even know that. Okay, then there's the Cabinet of Curiosity. I'll probably do these in a different order, because by the time the next episode rolls around, I won't remember what order he told me. And then Bragi, who takes care of the markets. Alright. Yeah, I got it. Crystal clear. Yeah, fair enough. It'd probably be easier to get around than some of the city-states felt like when I first got here, so... Yeah, well, I mean, I guess I could just tell them that I'm your guest. That seemed to work pretty well with the gatekeeper. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, and there's a courtyard behind the aetheryte that we'll be able to meet him at. Look, I paid for the expansion. I don't fucking pay to be told what to do. New area equals explore. No, I mean, that's fair. You can do what you want at that point, but they definitely want you to do things in a certain order as is from your experience, as we can tell. So... Okay, so we will do one of the things that he says to do, especially since you can't do any of the other things he says to do until you do this. Let's attune to the aetheryte. I'll set it as a return point so I can get back here easier. And yeah, we can go back to aetherytes in the source as well if we so choose. But I'm going to use this as my return point so that way we can just come back here at our leisure. And with that, we will call it a day. We have a new area to explore. I have some grievances to air out with the Crystal Exarch, and hopefully we'll find all of our friends on the next episode of Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers, the Stream Edition, which will be happening early next week at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If I had to guess, I'd say probably Monday, but I'm not 100% sure about that just yet. I'll let you all know when I post the schedule on Twitch, YouTube, and Discord tomorrow, about 7 or 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So thank you for watching, everybody. I appreciate you coming out to Twitch and YouTube to check out the stream, and I'll see all of you on the next one next week. Until then, take care, and have a good one.
See you later.
I miss Interceptor already.